All right, well, welcome back to the Ryan Nile Show. Today I am joined by a very good friend of mine, Joff, and we're going to have just a conversation. He's literally what the show is about, so he's an incredible person that's gone through some incredible things, and I'm sure we'll touch on that. Joff is an all-round creative, musician, producer, photographer, everything, and we're both
You're rating me too highly, bro.
We're both massive podcast junkies as well. So, yeah, how are you, man?
Good, bro. Good. That was a sick intro for me, bro. I feel good right now.
I'm trying to get better at that. I'm trying to get better. So, yeah.
It made me sound serious.
You are.
Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. I'm actually doing, I suppose, long form better than how I've been for a long time, man. Do you know what I mean? Way better than I've been for a long time, and I'm a steady speed now, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think mental state was in definitely a point of, yeah, it was AC rather than DC for a while. Do you know what I mean? It was bouncing all over the place, but yeah, good, man. Good.
That's good to hear, man.
Good. We're finally sitting down, bro. Yeah, we've been trying to have coffee for about 2 months.
Yeah, for real. Every
time, bro.
Every lunchtime.
Where
are you
lunchtime.
at? I got a meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you here today? Yeah, I'm here today. Sick, I'm here today. What time? 1.
Just happens, man. So I'm glad that we're here.
I hadn't seen you or spoke to you for a long time, and I just saw you, right? You was just walking.
Yeah, down that road in Waterloo.
Lower Marsh.
Lower Marsh. That's what it was.
Lower Marsh. Yeah. That's mad.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
At the time that it needs to.
You're not in the ends anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone now.
Yeah, everyone's gone from Ilford Lane, boy.
Mad.
Yeah.
Mad.
So, before we go into like the last few years and stuff, let's talk about podcasts, man. Like, why? We're both music producers, but we're both massive podcast junkies, and I can say that. And I was on I was a guest today on another podcast, on Alex Reed's podcast.
How'd it feel?
Amazing, man.
Really?
Amazing. Yeah.
Nerves?
Slightly when I was there.
Yeah.
Slightly when I was there.
Did he ask you anything that made you think I cannot answer this? Or?
Nah. Because I walked in and I said, look, I'm just gonna be authentic.
Okay.
And I think when you're coming from that place, there's not that second brain or third brain.
Not being worried is a good start always, right?
Yeah. But when I say like slightly nervous, it's just literally like increased heart rate and things like that. But no, it was completely fine, man. But what was I gonna say?
we was sending. I think you sent me one podcast, and I was like, and then you soon realised, actually, you know what? No, the podcast is actually life for me. And you was like, exactly the same like we were saying just now. Excuse me. Can't clean without it, bro.
Can't clean without it. Can't drive without them.
Bro, I can't.
It just feels like can't wash up.
Yeah. Mine started from, I think my love of talk-based radio, which started from talk-based radio and went into podcast, was my mum used to listen to LBC, but she would listen to Ian Lee. Ian Lee, the guy who was in the jungle recently, last year doing a thing.
Okay.
He's on talk radio now. It was an LBC guy, but he used to do a thing called Good Evening.
Right.
And it was called straight to air. Anything goes. And he would just allow anybody to do anything.
Wow.
He would, like, one guy would call up and sing Hey Little Hen in a high-pitched voice and just dump the line.
Yeah.
It was so interesting. I think it's because how my mind works is that I think as artists, right, we get bored so quickly at a form. As soon as we notice its form, as soon as we clock its artistic nature, and we can see the person who put it together, who was like, oh, no, you're cold now. Like, do you know what I mean? This matrix is not, I don't care for it as much anymore. And this wasn't like that, because he was like, call up, say whatever you want. And then sometimes you get 3 people call up and just let them just have it out. But like it wasn't
with each other.
Yeah.
Oh right.
But they wouldn't be
so like
not even argue. They would just be like, it's bro, you gotta go. I'm gonna send you some stuff.
Yeah, send me some stuff.
But
man.
that turned into he went missing. Then that turned into podcast, and I think I was listening to who does the 10 o'clock on. We was talking about on LBC, 10 o'clock in the morning.
James O'Brien.
James O'Brien.
Yeah.
And I've got, because of my dad, a big amount of respect for the beauty of the English language, and he is a master of the English language,
yeah.
master of destruction. If you're coming in closed-minded,
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's how I got into it, and then eventually being, I think, Bill Burr was a big one, which was great. Like Bill Burr, I was listening to him from when he used to record his podcast on a thing where you would call up.
Right.
You'd pay per minute to call up, and it would record the call.
Right.
And he'd be in an airport, call up and just say what's going on in his mind, and be like, and put it out as a podcast. Like, this was years ago when he was doing rooms of 20, 30 people. And I remember hearing him go into Royal Albert Hall on a holiday and saying, oh, this is where AC/DC played and his favourite drummer. Imagine doing comedy here, this, that, and the third. And literally last year I saw him
Nuts.
perform there.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
And it was just like, like,
look what can happen.
yeah.
Because also, like, obviously, like, podcasts seem new, but they're not.
Yeah.
Podcasts have been out for like nearly 20 years.
But I don't know what it was like for you. When I was growing up, I used to go to my nan's. It was talk radio when you go to bed.
Yeah.
Talk radio every time when you go to sleep. It was talk radio.
Yeah. My
Maybe that stuck.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a possibility.
Definitely. He was pretty much like our grandfather. So he was our uncle, my nan's cousin, but he was like our granddad.
Right.
He would pick us up from school, and he would always listen to Radio 2. So would, like, going on the way to school with mum and dad, would listen to Choice FM or Station FM. So it's either reggae or...
Do you remember the adverts for Station FM?
Oh,
the guy with the deep voice.
Yeah.
He used to have some deep voice, man. The adverts used to kill me, bro.
Trust me. So we used to either listen to, like,
Radio 2 is a mixed
soul,
bag.
all of that. But then we'd be exposed to this other,
Side,
other life through Radio 2.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely interesting.
It's the halfway house to Radio 4, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like we're going to play some music. We're going to give you actual genuine opinions from probably much more in depth rather than pop. Radio 1 being pop or whatnot. And it's some talk. Enough talk for you to think, actually, you know what? A whole talk thing might be all right.
Right.
And then you go to Radio 4, innit? But you know what we used to listen to, my dad? The shipping forecast. You ever heard that?
No.
Okay, so you'd never heard it, never heard of it. You might have heard it, but not known what it was. Radio 4 play a shipping forecast at night, which is a forecast out to all the ships that are at sea, saying where the weather is in certain sections. So, but certain sections of the seas around the country have names. So it would be like Archimedes, winds up at 30 degrees, good. And then it would go on to the next one and the next one. And my dad used to listen to it, and I used to think, why
are you listening to that?
And I get it now. Because he said to me once that there's something about it. Yes, it's nighttime. If it's raining outside, you think these ships are at sea, it's dark, and you're going to sleep anyway. You just get into this imaginary world of like, these people are listening, right? What's the wind's going to be like there when some massive ship, like, do you know what I mean? Incredibly soothing, like, put me to sleep every time.
Really?
Oh, every time.
So he used that to help put you to sleep?
Yeah. He used it to help put himself to sleep.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Ah.
But yeah.
So that's probably like stuck with you, isn't it?
Yeah, hell yeah, definitely. I think, I don't know, we've spoken about this before. Maybe it is an artistic thing with, I don't know, listening to conversation. Being, I think, I don't really like talking on the phone.
Me neither.
Right? And that's the people I love.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love, I'm like, I don't know, it could be a spectrum thing. It could be an artistic thing, but I know I don't like it that much. And for some reason, with podcasting, I think it gives you the ability to partake in something there's always been a chore, but not partake at the same time.
Yeah.
So you're on the outside, you're like this ad hoc.
Completely.
Within the nucleus of the conversation, but you give your opinion from your car. Do you know what I mean? Like, I give my opinion. In my head, I'm giving my opinion.
Yeah. Sometimes, do you know what I've realised I've been doing? I've been giving my opinion out loud.
Yeah.
So I'll be listening to a podcast and then they'll say something and I'll give my opinion like I'm actually with them.
Yeah. I say, do you know what? Or my other half, I'll be like, "In it, babe," and she'll be like, "Yeah, I think so."
whatever you're talking
Like,
about.
no, listen back, and you start hitting that 15 button.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, minus 15.
15. She's like, "You don't have to go back that far. Just what did they say?" And I'll be like, "No, listen. What did they say?" She's going,
Yeah. It's just easy
no,
to listen.
it's much better when you hear it. Like, do you know what I mean? And then she hears it, and then it's just this massive anticlimax after that. It's just like,
because you want them to
oh,
hear
you're not
what
as
you
into
think.
this as I am.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, podcasts are the one. I kind of look at it as like you can now, technically, you can go to dinner with pretty much anybody you want. If you go to a restaurant, or just go out for lunch, for example, put on a podcast between, I don't know, Oprah and Will Smith, for example.
Yeah.
Now you're at dinner with Oprah and Will Smith. They're having a conversation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you're privy to that. It's amazing.
Do you think artistic people enjoy podcasts more because they have the ability and imagination to allow themselves to feel as if they're at that table?
Perhaps.
Because some people are like, I don't want to just hear someone, because I get this with audiobooks. I don't know what do you listen to audiobooks?
I do, yeah.
Now, any book I've finished is an audiobook. It's never a paper book.
You can't finish an audiobook.
No, I can't finish a paper book.
Oh, I can't finish a paper book.
48 Laws of Power, I finished.
Because it's, that's
because
like the way it's written.
It's not,
It's
it's
just
really 20 minutes of reading.
Yeah.
And then when you choose to, pick another one and read it, do you know what I mean? And it didn't even need to be finished, because after a while it just becomes recycled versions of the other things. Anyway.
That's right, yeah.
But audiobooks, and you hear people say, no, if I want to have a book, I want to read a book.
There's a
And you think, why the rule?
Well, what's funny about that is before you could actually pick up and read a book, you were read books.
Indeed.
You were told stories.
Yeah.
So the way we're geared towards listening to stories.
Yeah.
You know, so why is that all of a sudden suppressed when you're in primary school, secondary school?
No, bro.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And a story will put you to sleep as well. My other half likes to go sleep in pure silence.
Is it?
And I'm not good with pure silence. I need something. I need some white noise.
Who said that the other day? Gary Vee said that the other day. Like what puts him to sleep is sirens and noise. Because growing up in New York, like everyone's got different versions of their piece, haven't they?
I think I wrote some stuff down once. I think it was sort of just scribblings of lines of maybe poetry or something like that. And it was a realization point of that. I think silence and depression are not good friends. And I put on I wrote it down something like, leave the radio on, anything instead of silence, anything instead of the detrimental sound of my mental health declining. And it was like, when I wrote it down, I was like, how have I never realized that point until I put that down? Do you know what I mean? Because it's definitely, I think if you're going through some stuff, your friends are speaking to you on the podcast. Do you know what I mean? This is why when you was doing For the Creators and stuff like that, I was like, this is my friend who's actually my friend. Do you know what I mean? Like, Bill Burr don't know me.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And he ain't going to remember me from one time I met him and took a photo. But he don't know me. But he don't know that he does actually, like, he's in the car every morning.
Right.
Joe Rogan's in the car every morning. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you've got not someone to talk to, but you've got something to listen to. These people become part of your life massively.
Completely, man.
Massively. Like, I've never the fan thing. I've never been a starstruck person.
Yep.
Especially with the music, I think that's great as well, because if you work with somebody who's good, who's big, being starstruck's not great.
No.
Because how are you flowing otherwise? Do you know what I mean?
And they pick up on that energy as well, man.
But I'm like that with, I think if I saw people who I listen to the podcast every day, I'd be saying those bars like, I listen to everything you do. Like, do you know what I mean?
Literally, I've not missed an episode.
Yeah, like with Rogan, I listen to the stuff that, like, last night, like, I listened to stuff, one with a surfer, like some world-renowned surfer. Why am I going to know?
What's his name?
Boyd
Hamilton.
Boyd Hamilton, is that his name?
I
No,
don't
that's
know.
Laird.
Laird Hamilton. Laird. Who's Boyd Hamilton? I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
What was crazy about it is like, it was amazing. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I love about those as well. Especially like Rogan does it so well, where it's literally just straight in.
Yeah.
You don't know necessarily what it's about.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's the topics that are covered and stuff. It's incredible. And like you said, like having that as a background, it's just incredible.
Last night, I drove home to talking about it's a recent guy on a British author to do with stopping human beings aging.
Oh,
He studied the science of stopping human beings aging.
That's
I'm
all
a
the
science
rage in
nerd.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, that's my other thing. I'm a science nerd. I love, like, I geek out massively on science. Like,
Yeah.
massively, and on neuroscience as well, which is great, and on medicine, pharmacy. Pharmacy is what I would actually, if I was to do anything else, I would do that.
Yeah.
If I had to choose a career that was like a career you could, standard human being would say, what do you do?
Right.
And because music, obviously at the moment I work on a tube, right? I work on a tube, and it's a great job, but it is not what I want to do. It never has been what I've wanted to do. I said to a friend of mine the other day, I said, I hate it here, man. He was like, nah. I said, I hate my job. He was like, you can't hate it that much. I'm like, is this what you want? Is this what you... He was like, no, it's not what I want. I said, exactly. So you don't like it, do you? I said, like, did you like trains before you came here? He was like, no, it's not. And I was just thinking, like, I don't know. I think recently I've got this almost, I don't know if it's not, desperate's a way, like you know, the sense of desperation when you need to make it outside of the normal realms of normal life, the sort of mundane cycle of the Matrix or whatever. Like this is one of those things, right? Podcasting, this is one of those things where you could, do you know what I mean? This is you doing that. And I'm trying to see music like that.
It's bending the seams, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But I think it's great you can do that now.
That's what's amazing.
Do you know what I mean? Do you remember when it was coming up? Bro, I remember how much you used to, if you wanted to release a record, early years of me doing hip hop, you had to do vinyl.
Yeah.
That's
find a distributor and all that. Yeah,
distributor, sale on return, going around to record shops, even just to get a dub plate cut. When you think about that now, a dub plate, acetate, that's going to last, what was it, 30, 40 plays you'd get? It would rub it out.
Yeah.
And it was expensive, bro. It was like £70 or something to get a dub cut.
Yeah, and then back then, like, there's no social media and stuff, so your marketing is all local.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different.
Now it's potentially global. Everything is potentially global. Like I say to just everybody, like, even if you do work on a tube or whatever, right now, if you want to, because it's an attention game.
Yeah.
That's what the world is. The world is right now. It's an open mic.
Indeed.
And if you can go up there, take the mic and smash it, and grab the audience, people are on it. So even if you're a what's the term? A dustman.
Dustman,
Yeah, if you're a dustman.
What was you thinking? Dustbinman?
Yeah, I was about to say
Dustbinman.
I was about to say dustbinman. But even if you're that and you're like a singing
Sounds like a fictional
dustbinman.
character, the Dustbin Man.
Dustbin man.
Actual man that's half dustbin, half man. Dustbin
Half man, half trash. Yeah, even if you were like a singing dustbin man or something like that, and you did the same thing on TikTok or Instagram or something like that, you get attention, and then all of a sudden you're the singing dustbin man.
People's natural urge to do something now. Who's the guy? Is it Reggie Watts? Have you seen Reggie Watts?
Rings a bell.
He plays keys, runs loops, and sings and beatboxes, right? But it's not that. It's not that. It's this mad energy that he's got.
Right.
And it's how he does it. It's funny. It's super random. But if I guarantee you, if you watch it, it will resonate with you. You'll be like, oh, you're doing that.
Right.
I do that. I do that in my head all day.
Right.
That's mad. You turn that into money.
There you go. And that's what people resonate with.
Yeah.
That's what makes a star, right?
Yeah, because it's beautiful, because it's pure. It's completely pure. When you
Yeah.
watch it, you're like, this is amazing. Man.
Right.
Like, you are doing exactly what you want to do. Same with Rogan, though. Rogan
Completely.
is getting people on that, like, he's like, oh, God, I read this book. Like, this is an amazing book. He gets the author on.
Yep.
Now, obviously, he's in a great position to be able to do that. But look at the mixture.
Ah,
Is his mind. It's a print of his mind.
exactly, because he's fully leaned into the fact of you can literally productize yourself.
Yeah.
And he's made his whole platform is an extension of his mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
and there's no one else can do what he does because it's literally him. Like, we can use the same formats, i.e. podcasting or whatever, but
So that's why it's well named Joe Rogan Experience, because it is, no matter who he has on, he's on there because here's the next pocket in Joe Rogan's mind that he wishes to explore.
simple as. Exactly. It's
Which
brilliant.
is pretty crazy. From you got Vinny Paz on one week, and then you've got Tesla,
Elon Musk.
the next week.
Yeah. It's mad.
Unreal, isn't it?
Did you listen to the Daryl Davis one? The
No.
guy that converted over 300 Ku Klux Klan members.
No.
Yeah.
Is that recent?
Recent. I'll send it.
Send
Yeah.
it,
That's your drive home.
That's
That's part of your drive home.
I don't know about you, but I look forward to the drive home.
Love it.
I get up at
Podcasts
bro.
have transformed driving.
Bro, for me, if I've got good coffee and podcast, I could do anything, bro. Anything. My other half will tell you different. She'll say, no, he needs his vape. He needs to have his computer near him. He needs to have everything around him.
Yeah.
'Cause she cusses me because when I get in the car, she said, you get in the car and then you leave about 10, 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
You got to find your podcast. You might find that in a minute later. You got to fill up your vape and make sure this is where. Are you too hot? Are you too cold? Are you this? Are you that? Are you this? You could have been there and back by now. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Scatterbrain, bro. Absolute scatterbrain.
yeah, same.
And worse when I'm unhappy. Or when I'm unhappy and I don't realise I am.
How have you managed unhappiness? Because you said
Yeah.
about waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's one of them. So,
And is that something that you do consciously now, or is it something that just happens?
that is something that's a level of quiet that I look forward to.
Yes.
Almost like medication. It's a level of quiet that,
Is it because the rest of the world's quiet at that time?
yeah. Yeah. I noticed early on, so I've suffered with depression for, I'd say the best part of about 10 years. And I realised early on that when I had my first anxiety attack, panic attack, which is, hits you like a heart attack, or a lung failure, or something to do with your lungs not working, and then everything else, if you're not breathing, everything else shuts down very quickly.
Really?
Yeah, but you're breathing, but you don't feel like it's enough.
Right.
Have you ever breathed out and then gone underwater instead of breathing in?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
As an
feeling,
experiment.
right?
Yeah.
There's this panic that sets
That
in.
visceral, like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a panic, yeah.
It's that, on top of that, on top of that, on top of that.
As like a loop.
Oh, it's unreal.
How long do they last, usually?
I've had 4 in my lifetime. The initial thing, okay, there's 2 forms. There's uneducated form,
Right.
and there's the educated form. And
Even
if
knowing
you're
what it is and not knowing what it is.
and even if you're educated, it can hit you in another form. The symptoms are almost endless.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like this whole coronavirus shit. You're coughing and spluttering. Well, you could have most things,
Right.
but it also could be that. Do you know what I mean? But the initial one, I was in a car driving to work. I was running late. I get to the point of getting on the A406. I'm between a petrol station's halfway that way, a petrol station's halfway that way. I notice I've got 3-4 miles. I know I'm traveling 10 odd miles, going to Tottenham or whatever. But the lateness kicked in heavier than the petrol, and I got on the motorway. And now I'm worrying about petrol, I'm worrying about the car breaking down, and I'm worrying about being late. And at this time I'm going through some other stuff, which is kind of onset the panic. All of a sudden, I just couldn't breathe. I was in the middle lane, A406. I got off the 406, thank God.
Yeah.
Couldn't breathe. Went in, brought it back down. I knew that's what that was the first time, which is weird. Because my most recent one, I didn't know what it was.
Interesting.
Which is, yeah, it worked the other way around. That time I knew what that was. Because I knew I was going, this.
Oh, because you could kind of see the pattern of thought that led to that.
Historical, slight bit of history back, and you kind of worked out what's brought me to this point. Do you know what I mean? But
how did you then? Because obviously, you're in the car. You pulled over to the hard.
Pulled over, and I got myself together just by breathing. I remember my mum saying to me once, "If you ever get anything like that, breathe." Which has only just dawned on me now, which means she probably had it.
Right.
Which is strange. I don't know why I've never thought that.
Yeah, for real.
That's weird. That is strange. She didn't seem like the type.
Because she probably managed it well.
Hard body, yeah. Straight up hard. Strong back female, like, do you know what I mean? Like, manage everything just with a smile, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'd say it lasted about 10, 15 minutes.
The actual panic?
The full-blown thing lasted probably about 2 minutes.
Yeah. That must have
The
felt
calm
like
down took
10
about
minutes.
10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The 2 minutes definitely felt like 10 minutes. And the feeling of complete exhaustion and stomach aching and this, that, and the third lasted, I'd say, about 3-4 days. That's
So
how you
the
feel.
fallout.
It takes it out of you.
Flipping hell.
Removes a lot from you. I think it just it just puts 2 massive generators on each end of a very small battery. And that battery is just like, I'm too small for this. Like,
Yeah.
This is too much. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? But I instantly started looking it up.
So this is the first time it happened?
First time, yeah.
Yeah.
First time. But I'd had some experience with mental health issues through my dad, which was about, it must have been about 2005, 6. So I was about 19, 20, something like that. My twin boys were coming up 1.5, 2. And completely out of the blue, my dad had an episode.
What kind of episode?
I still don't really know. I still don't know. He was okay. And then he just took himself to the... Remember, my road was a dead end, right?
Yeah.
So it had allotments. Took himself to the allotments, down to the bottom. He was depressed. That's what it actually was.
Right.
But we didn't know. We were uneducated at this point. I was uneducated at this point. Mental health matters and stuff like that.
Well, it wasn't really a topic back then.
But it was a caring family. So I suppose you are educated.
Matching jumpers.
Smashed it. Smashed it. Found your yellow
Make a note of the time he gets his bike. 9:15. On your bike, Mike. So you're saying So
he must have been. He was getting
caring
depressed.
family.
Yeah, yeah. So we're caring family. So obviously we would. I think if you are a caring family, you're educated on mental health to a certain degree because you're like,
Right.
are you all right?
There's the empathy there, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And the conversation.
Yeah, empathy's a big deal, man. Such a big deal. But yeah, he just took himself down to the allotment, went down and sat with his feet in the river and cut himself from head to toe.
Oh, shit.
280, 290 things with like a Stanley.
Stanley knife.
Yeah.
And them things are
Like,
hard.
but there was elements of it to us that were like almost demonic at that time because it was like he done things that don't match self-harm, they don't match depression, they don't match suicide. He like removed parts of his face and stuff like that. He done,
right.
yeah, he done a
Didn't know.
madness. Yeah, I don't think nobody knew about this. I think your brother may have known at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was like, I was thinking about this on the way over, and I wasn't too sure whether it was because we hadn't really discussed it. Do you know what I mean? But it's, I thought this is actually a massive part of how I dealt with everything to come.
Mm.
But he did that, and we had to go down there and kind of get him up off the hill and stuff like that. And it was pretty intense, man. Well, it's an understatement. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was
a massive understatement.
Yeah, it was. He survived that, which is crazy. It's crazy. Some people cut themselves in a few places and they go.
Yeah, exactly.
He cut himself everywhere.
With a Stanley knife.
Everywhere, bro.
I don't know, like a lot of the listeners and viewers are from America. I don't know if a Stanley knife is a thing that's over there, but it's one of those thick knives that you have to push up.
Yeah, they might call it a craft knife or something like that. Yeah.
It's heavy duty. That's heavy duty stuff.
Yeah, but essentially it's a razor blade, right? Inside there is a razor blade.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But it gives you the grip. So
yeah.
you can
Stanley is the handle, isn't it? And
right.
then you've got this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might be getting a Stanley blade mixed up. Stanley blade is the thin, super sharp blade, right?
Yeah, but it's got a thick handle, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. But the blade is like...
Yeah, the blade's thin.
Chop through.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So he definitely chose a tool, and he to the day that, for the rest of his life, he always said, I don't know what happened there.
Really? Wow. So it's like a proper episode in that sense.
Well, he was on a medication called venlafaxine, which is an SSRI. Do you know what SSRI is?
No, I was about to ask.
Okay, this is one of the things I've studied a lot. So selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, which is the most common used antidepressant.
So just like makes you a zombie, basically.
Serotonin, you know what serotonin is? A lot of people talk about serotonin now.
Yeah.
Serotonin is a neurotransmitter which is created in your gut, sent to your brain, and delivered throughout the day to keep you level in your mood. Right. So you don't fluctuate too heavily one way or the other. Got it. That's why people with bipolar, they have serotonin issues. Do you know what I mean? People with ADHD, they have serotonin issues. They fluctuate too heavy, all the way up, which you can only fall. So how that actually works is, if you ever see a picture of the path, like neurological pathways, you see sort of like the ends, like where they meet. They're like veins that run from the brain around the body, your nerves basically. Yeah. There's chemicals running through those nerves that do different things, like dopamine to make you feel euphoria and all these happiness, sadness, this, that, and the third. But there's gaps after a certain amount of time, like an electrical thing. You can't run electricity for a certain amount of space before you have to create a new feed. Right. But there's gaps. And in between those gaps, there's these little walls, which are called the reuptake wall. And they, I'll have to send you like a graphic. Yeah. So I'll overlay it. Yeah. And that wall is between the gap where it transfers from one to the next, passing it all around the body. And that wall opens and closes if it senses this is too much. There's too much going through the body. Right. We don't want this person to go too high, too low. Got it. Close the wall. They're going too low, so let it all run. Open the wall. Let some of it seep out because there's too much. Do you know what I mean? And that is how all of your emotions work. Right. Is basically a plumbing section of release. Too much pressure. Add pressure, too much pressure, add pressure. Mad. And there's various chemicals running through the brain. Neurotransmitters are endless in there. Even serotonin. The medication is a selective serotonin inhibitor, which means it's selecting a certain type anyway. So it's kind of very complex. Yeah. But I would say I thought this would be something I'll get to probably later on in the podcast, but I would say that's something everybody should. It's worth an hour of everybody's time learning about that. Yeah, because I think as soon as you see the mechanical reason between this that shows why you're feeling like that, you can eventually start to see it in the way as you see a bruise on your knee and you know why your knee hurts. Do you know what I mean? Because mental health is not treated, it's not seen in the same light. It's got this spiritual aspect.
Yes.
It's got this
Yes.
this weird
Like esoteric
fog
Yeah.
around it, where
Like it's a concept.
yeah, and like even now they say, oh, there's so much more awareness of mental health and this, that, and the third, and I don't think there actually is. I think it's out there. The pamphlet has been given out,
Right.
and it is told everybody the rules on how they should treat people with mental health problems, which is amazing. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people can go into work now and say, I have depression,
Yes.
and get some time off and not commit suicide because of that time off.
That's
Do
right.
you know what I mean? And not destroy their family or their children's lives because of that little bit of time off. And their manager might go home to their family and go, yeah, he's got mental health problems. Do you know what I mean? Oh, he's depressed. Like, yeah, put that in the same thing as back pain. We can't show it. It's like a crushed nerve in your back.
Right.
We can't show it.
Yeah.
We can't put the nerves under a microscope. Not as far as I know. So you can say you're depressed because you have the ability to lie. People are just going to say, yeah, you're going to lie. Everybody lies and cheats and this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
But somebody with mental health problems, depression, is way more likely to lie about something to get time off because they're not going to say it's actual. They're way more likely to say, I've got stomach problems.
Yeah.
So they can get some time off. Because they know that the manager will go, oh, it doesn't sound too good. I've had that.
Exactly. It's relatable.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I used to envy people who would go like, we talking about mental health problems. Because they were the same type of people who were usually very square in their day. I get up, I go to work, and I'll work. I take my break when I have to take my break.
Yeah.
But I graft and I do it all the way through, and it's boring, but I still do it, and I still do it all the way through. And to me, that's like, I've never been able to do that in my life. Never. Whether it's an artistic thing, call it what you want to call it. I've heard many names for it over the years.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think I texted this to you before. There's them and there's us.
Yeah.
But the world needs to find a way to be, excuse me, much more fitting for both sides.
Completely. It's kind of happening, which is good. Just, I mean, there's various reasons for that. I think just going back to what we were saying before about the kind of day and age we're living in, where everything is possible.
Yeah.
Things that you create in your mind, you can get out there now. So it's kind of making more creatives, which is good.
Unlimited media, right? So you can have a channel for this. It is,
but then it has the knock-on effect of mental health issues because of the the various positive sides of all these tools.
Yeah,
it's they are abused and they're not monitored for. What I'm trying to say is those tools are made for creators.
Yeah, of course.
But not only the vast majority of people that use them aren't the people pushing out the content that people
like
want
culture
to
vultures, right?
Yeah, but
you
also
get the same
just
thing. You get the same thing in intellectual property. I think with podcasting.
Yeah,
I think some people would step now into podcasting and pull that crowd in for their Instagram page,
right,
and just dark out.
Yeah.
In the same way that people like Kid Rock jumped into hip hop, got their money, stepped back into rock,
right,
or Yellow Wolf, or you know what I mean. Like people do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they do exactly.
And there's real forms. There's real forms of that. There are problematic sides of anything like that with mental health and with terms like culture vulture and this, that, and the third. They're abused terms as well.
Yeah, but even like regular people, like for example, Facebook started out as a young platform and then was adopted by a lot older people, and then that obviously changed the content you see. But what happened is it's like it almost created a different social layer in life, period.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden now you've got family members are, I hear these things like, that person, they sent me a message and they didn't reply, or they didn't. No, this person didn't like my thing. But it's like, it's almost, you're talking to older people, but it's like talking to, what, are you 12 years old? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So there's that social layer.
I had that with a friend of mine. We was in a room, it was a kid's party, and I went round, he's going, bro, I followed you on Twitter. This was years ago.
Yeah.
He's going, what's going on? You don't follow me on Twitter?
Yeah.
I said, bro, I don't know if you know this, but I know you. Like, I know you know you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I know you.
I follow you in real life, man.
Yeah. I follow podcasters and musicians on Twitter. It doesn't matter if I follow you on Twitter. If I want to talk to you, I'll call you. I know you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there is that divide now where people see they treat the tea is all based off Instagram and this,
fully.
He said this and he read it and he didn't reply and all the memes are based off of it.
Left me on red.
Left me on red, man.
Yeah.
Bro, I bet you keep your ticks on grey, innit? Do you send read receipts?
Nah. What, on WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Nah.
Have you got them turned off?
Yeah.
So you can read someone's message and they don't know. You read it. Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Because I don't care.
Life, bro. I'll never turn that back on ever again.
Ever. I don't.
How should you? If you give me a book, right? I might. You might ask. Did you read? Did you think? Did you check the book out? And like, bro, I shouldn't have to. I'm not obliged. Do you know what I mean?
You know, it's almost like me. But it's like me giving you a book.
Yeah.
But then, all right, I'll give you a book.
And you knowing I haven't read it. Yeah.
I gave you the book 10 minutes ago, you know.
You've given the book and then just follow, man. Follow me everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it
by the way,
with.
for podcast listeners, I was just giving Joff a stare. Check out the video.
Days,
but yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
This man looked at me like this.
Is this thing on?
Me.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the social layers that it makes is mad, but it all relates back to, you know, I know we're kind of like going back and forth, which is fine.
Yeah.
But back to, you know, like living with depression and understanding what it actually is. And I love what you said about looking at it from the, you know, the mechanical, biological point, because we think of emotion as this thing. It's just a thing, like, it's not literally chemicals going through my body that start off here or wherever. That is making me feel a certain way. And the emotion is the result.
It is mechanical, mental, physical, spiritual, medical. And
it's a loop.
Yeah.
Like one affects the other.
You need a weapon in every section for depression, I think. I think you need a weapon.
How when you said living with depression, what made you know that it was
depression?
How do you identify it?
Okay, so early on, it started as just shifting mood, steady, low mood. No major fluctuations. No drive. Nothing like that. But now it's different. Because, so the past few years have been mad, intense. Even still slightly unbelievable in a way, but I believe it because if I wish it was not real.
Yeah.
But I would say it started about 2.5, maybe 3 years ago. It might be a bit long. I might get my years mixed up here, but it's not really significant. But like, so I lived with my mum, my dad, my brother, and my twin boys when they was there. And that's it. Small family, man. Like, tiny family, do you know what I mean? Like, not really, like, I had my cousin. I've got a cousin here, and I've got an uncle in the Isle of Wight, and then there's not really anyone else. I've got my uncle in the States, who are, you know, and I'm very close with them. My uncle over there, and very close with thing, but more now than I was before. Yeah, so my mum got sick with a stomach issue. She became a little bit worried. She saw the doctor, got a scan. they started talking about biopsies and stuff like that, you know. She said, look, they're talking about biopsies. I've looked it up. And hopefully it's not what I'm getting the symptoms for, because it wouldn't be good. Do you know what I mean? So she was diagnosed with a type of cancer that works between the layers between your organs. There are layers between the organs,
right,
that protect the organs, because all your organs are like together like this, right? So they're like lubricated, and they've got all these layers of fat around them, stuff like that. Signet cell carcinoma, it was called. Tiny little tumor they found here, and we went in and saw the doctor. I can't remember what they call him now, and he said, yeah, so this is what you've got, is this, you know, chemo and all this kind of stuff. That something that small, that early, with where cancer is now, it's terrible. But I'm like, my mum's a soldier,
right,
she'll be all right.
yeah,
Anybody I know who smiles through everything usually gets through most things. Even though you learn when you do it, it's actually quite destructive in ways, you know.
yeah,
But he said we need to talk about time, and he said, which I didn't think was a conversation we had to have.
no,
And he said, you know, 18 months to 3 years is the time you've got left. And she was like, okay, well, if it's 18 months to 3 years, like, why do all of this chemo? Like, why not just painkillers towards the end? Which I was like, you just heard this. And you're like, okay, what's the best option here?
wow,
So gangster. I was like, jeez,
how do we deal with this?
strong are you? Like, and he was like, no. 18 months to 3 years is with 3 types of chemo.
Oh,
And I remember saying to him, why? He said, this is a cancer that has not been worked out yet. And it's intense. It multiplies. But I was still like, nah, not my mum. Like, she gets through everything. Like, bro, she died 8 weeks later. Like, just, it took her day by day. Every day was worse. Every day got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. To the point of where it came 2 weeks after that day, when she got the full-blown diagnosis at the time, they said, you'll start chemo in 2 weeks. She couldn't, because she walked a lot of that journey with me.
yeah,
And those hospitals it's a walk anyway. Even when you park up, it's a walk. And when we left, she walked out and she was fine. Bellyache, slight bellyache. But like, within 2 weeks, she was not strong enough to take chemo. Do you know what I mean? It was so quick, bruv. So quick. So, leaves me with my brother and my dad. And then,
mad, man.
almost 3 months to the day my dad dies. He had a lung condition for years. Didn't have as much lung capacity. It was a smoking-related disease. But he was all right. Like, he was ill. He was clearly ill. But he was all right. Like, he weren't looking at death's door. Broken heart killed him.
Yeah,
Clean. Because he came back down, his lungs were burst, and the doctors were like, we don't know why this is accelerated so quick.
right,
And yeah, bro, he literally, yeah, it was September, January. Yeah, January he died from the lung thing, which was just crazy. And I remember sitting in the hospital in the intensive care unit, and the nurse saying, I've seen men die after they lose their wife within a couple of years, but I've never seen it this quick. The funeral service provider said, we've never seen it this quick. Like, that is quick.
yeah,
And they was like, he must have loved her so much. And he did.
yeah,
Men, if you've got a good woman, I think if you've got a good woman in your life, you will rely on them way more than you think you do.
Mm.
And I looked after my dad, and so did my brother. But
It's not the same.
your queen's gone, man. Like, do you know what I mean? And I know that now from being with my other half now, because she is so in tune to the person I am.
Yeah.
So powerful with it. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? That she can predict stuff. Like, say to me, you need a day off like, tomorrow. I'll be like, why?
Beautiful,
no,
innit?
no, yeah, something's not right. Something's not right. I'll be like, okay, I'm all right. I won't take the day off. The next day I'll call her up and say, I'll book the next day off.
Yeah.
How do you see it? She was like, I don't know.
I could just tell.
Keep an eye on you, innit? Just what I'm supposed to do, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But unconditionally knows what's going on. It's crazy, bro. So yeah, me and my brother,
So that's in a space of
just over 3 months, 4 months.
from going to that initial consultation with you.
Yeah. And then
Fuck.
me and my brother, it's just us, and we got one auntie who's my dad's sister and a cousin, left sort of in mainland England. Do you know what I mean? And we're kind of getting on with it, trying to work out how to deal with all the legal side and all the bits and bobs. But we're not right. Do you know
No,
what
of
I mean?
course not.
We're not right mentally. It's just devastating. And it's like growing up where we lived on a street where everybody was family. You know, and like I've got my mum stood in for my brother, we're not blood, but they live across the road.
Yeah.
Their dad raised them, and my mum, it was a door open situation.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
when
And
their dad went
definitely
around,
was.
they'd eat it with us and this, that, and the third, you know. So they were messed up over this as well, like, do you know what I mean? And it was kind of mad because when you lose somebody, you get your memories from that person in an intense amount from somebody who's their sibling or related to them.
Yeah.
My auntie was just like my dad. She was so much like him, even in the good ways and the bad ways.
Right.
Like, she loved to drink, but she was just an amazing person to talk to and stuff like that. Bruv, I think it was, again, 3 months. She just died.
What?
Same condition he died from.
Really?
Yeah.
Flipping hell,
Lung
man.
thing. That's why you don't see me with cigarettes, bro. Do you know what I mean? Vaping and this, that, and the third. I'm trying to get away from it, trying to improve health and this, that, and the third. So, yeah, so and I remember standing at the funeral with my brother. I looked at him and
What
he
is
got
happening?
out and he's gone, he looked at me and he's going, this is mad, isn't it? What's going on? Like, what is this? Like, it feels like a curse, man. And kept it together, but just floating through life. Do you know what I mean? Still going to work, still doing what I need to do. Do you know what I mean? Handling stuff. I did take some time off a little bit after my dad throughout the summer, but but like nothing was preparing me for what was to come. Like, do you know what I mean? Mental health wise. But then what happened was it was 30th of December, which was just over 3 months after my auntie died.
Yeah.
And my son, I came home early from work and my son called me and he said, Dad, you spoke to Uncle Dan? My brother. And I said, no. I messaged him this morning, it was his birthday.
It's his birthday, yeah.
Yeah, I messaged him in the morning and said, yo, happy birthday, man. Like, get paid on Wednesday. Like, let's go, I'll take you out for something to eat. But he was in a depressive state, my brother. We both was. But he was in the mode, his point in the fluctuation was at the bottom at this time when I was a bit higher up, do you know what I mean? But we've both been to this point. And I said, no, I ain't spoke to him. It was crazy because I was trying to get a nap. And my other half said to me, spoke to your brother today? I was like, no. I was like, why? Because it's his birthday. She was like, oh, it's his birthday. So I was like, no. She said, have you spoke to him? I was like, no, I can't get through to him. Like, but you know what he's like. My brother was depressed to the level of like he didn't want to talk. He didn't talk that much anyway. It was pretty quiet. My brother, you remember what it was like. Like if you knew him, you knew him. He would talk, but like otherwise, he wasn't like. know what I mean? I'm the same. Like, if I don't know people, I'm very quiet, bro. But if I know you, I'm probably
That's when it comes
annoyingly
out.
loud. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I said, no, nothing, I ain't spoke to him. So Arnie can't get in touch with him, his other half. So instantly I'm like, oh, okay. It's a bit weird. Do you know what I mean? It's strange, but cool. Like, it's all right. Because nothing, like, after my auntie, you kind of like, that's got to be the end of this madness. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be like. I said, all right, cool. So I called Ben, my closest, and I said, are you home? He said, yeah, do me a favour. Cross the road, knock on the door. He's like, yeah, I saw the TV on this morning, like. So he's in there. All right, cool. So he goes over and knocks, no one answers. I said, do me a favour, get up at the window and have a look. He's going, yeah, he's there on the sofa, he's sleeping, man. So I'm like, oh, cool.
Right.
Thank God, do you know what I mean?
That's why you're not getting through.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. Just bang the window hard, man. And he was like, all right, boom, 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 boom. He was like, yeah, he's sleeping, bro. And I just heard this tone change in his voice, man. And he's like, bro, not gonna lie, I don't like the look of this. I don't like the look of this. He looks like he's sleeping, but I know something's not right. Something's not right about how he looks. So I'm just like, okay, I'm in Cheshunt, Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
This is in Ilford. I'm like, okay, call ambulance, call police, and call fire brigade. Call all of them, because you don't know what you're going to need. They might need to boot door down, they might need to whatever. Just call them all, tell them it's a big emergency, tell them it's cardiac, need people now.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm on my way. Stood up, and I went, and my partner was like, what's going on? I said, this, whatever. She's like, do you want me to come with you? I said, no, it's cool, stay here. And I remember shaking, like, just shaking, like, and I'd never felt it before, bro. But it's not like normal shaking, it's like big gaps between the shake, because when you shake, you're like this, right? Yeah. It was like, thing like full that, panic. I had to like just hold it. But not by breathing, not by any meditation methods I'd learned over the years. I held it in like, almost like, squeeze my body inside. Do you know what I mean? Just like trying to fit into something tight. Do you know what I mean? Get in the car, get on the motorway, hit traffic, stand still. Bro, I'm in the car, I am vibrating like this, and I'm calling. No one's answering. I get through to Mick, who's like my other dad at this point in life, and I'm like, where's Ben? Oh, he's in there, mate. Don't worry. He's in there. I said, oh, what's going on? Like, is he alive? Is he alive? I just wanted to know, like, is he alive? I said, look, any details, fine. If there's something massively wrong with him, like, fine, not fine, but is he alive? And he was like, we don't know yet. But he knew at that point. Problem was, these ambulance people said, you cannot tell him. If he's in the car, you can't tell him.
Right.
You can't tell him.
Right.
He can't be on that M25 and hear this.
Yeah.
And it made sense.
Of course.
So I got there. It should have took about 35, 40 minutes. It took about an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that to get there, bro. And like, sometimes, like now, I mentally go back to being in that car. The damage that was done to me in that time, physically and mentally, is a very long-lasting scar. That is a daily struggle to work with, do you know what I mean? But like, so I get there, and the tape's up on the road because they don't know why. You see the ambulance, and what I didn't know is they've asked people are crowded around the house now. And they said, okay, when he gets here, we're going to need one of you to come with us to speak to him. We think it's easier. Everyone looked at sorry, everybody looked at Ben and said, "It's gotta be you, man. Like, sorry, but it's gotta be you." He knew it would have to be him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And to this day, I'm indebted for it because it's a lot to take on, man.
Yeah, it is, man.
Because, you know, we talk about it, and then he pulled up on the road, and he just walked up with an ambulance guy, and he was walking to me, and he just said, "I'm sorry, bro, so sorry," and they said, I think the ambulance man said something like, "Sorry, like we've tried our best," or something like that, and I just remember breaking, bro, like.
It would break you, man.
Like, I've been strong throughout the whole situation.
Yeah.
No tears, nothing. Bro, I held my mum's hand when she took her last breath. I didn't shed a single tear. I thought something was wrong with me.
Yeah.
But it's a block from when that thing happened to my dad. It was a, whoa, fix up. You got to sort it out. You're the man. You're one of the men in the family. You can't be crying, bawling and spluttering all over the place right now. That's a very dangerous, stepping up is very dangerous in how you do it.
Yeah.
Because you can turn yourself into an absolute emotional robot. Do you know what I mean? But I broke in a way that you understand movies, certain scenes you see in movies and emotions. Legs went.
Yeah.
You ever been in a car accident?
No.
Well, supposedly, what happens in a car accident, well, the reason why people don't remember stuff is that there's the left and right side of your brain. One side deals with emotion, the other one deals with like memory. And there's a synapse bridge between the two, which connects the two. That's why your dreams are all messed up, because the bridge is on a mad one.
Right.
In the middle of the night, do you know what I mean? So it's sending memories into the wrong section of the brain, and it's all a bit nuts.
Got it.
But that, when you get in a car accident, shock, trauma shuts the bridge down. So there's no memory. There's no connection between the memory and the emotion.
Right.
So I lost my memory of that moment for till about 6 months ago, 7 months ago. Of
Really?
that,
Wow.
of a part of that moment there.
Yeah.
I knew what happened. I lost my legs. Bro, I thought I was going that day as well. I couldn't walk. Like, it's weird. My legs went so quickly and so heavily. Like I hit the ground. He caught me. But dead weight human being is a very heavy thing. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, obviously, that level of realization, like, you can't come to terms with that immediately. You think you can handle it. A lot of people think, even if you're strong mentally, you've dealt with stuff, death, and all up to this point, I'm now quite experienced in grief.
Yeah.
And getting to a point where I'm learning to grieve for my mum at this point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then eventually I would get on to grieving for my dad.
Right.
You know, and then my auntie. And I just broke, man. And I didn't know what it was at this point. So they was like, "Do you want to see him?" And I was like, "Nah, can't do it. I can't see another one of us gone.
No.
I can't see the last one. The one I travelled through all of this pain with. The one who stood next to me, carried my mum on her shoulders, carried my dad on her shoulders, carried them in, do you know what I mean? It can't be him. Well, who's carrying now? Just me, like, do you know what I mean? This can't be. And this is my older brother as well, do you know what I mean? So I rely on my older brother for a lot.
Yeah.
So I went to their house, and they said, "Do you want to see him?" I said, "No." And then that turned into a yes almost immediately. I said no, and then I just walked in. Because I said no, and in the same breath, my head went, "Then it's not real then."
Right.
If you don't see him dead, it's not real. If you don't touch him and say to him, "Bro," and think it's not real.
Yeah.
And I knew that I had to, because of the experience, you know. And like, went in there, and you know, it's just the obvious. He looked very peaceful, very peaceful. And he actually didn't die in a vicious way. He didn't die from suicide. That would have been what a lot of people would have thought at the time.
Right.
I would think that there must have been
Because of the
because of everything.
The year preceding and the mental health, mental
without a
state.
doubt. So I think it's highly possible that people thought that. I had a small part of me that thought it, but that small part of me that thought it scared me so much because of.
Well, you've had a shared experience.
Yeah, I think it's thinking the loneliness, the level of loneliness he had to deal with on his own. I hadn't seen him a few days before that, probably about 6 or 7 days before that. I hadn't seen him at all. Been working at my other half's house, and this, that, and the third, talking and this, that, and the third, you know what I mean? Keeping it in touch or whatever. But I hadn't seen him. And he was busy with his daughter and doing bits and bobs. So I had this in my head that, like, he was on his own in the last moments. I could have been with him at that time, and I wasn't. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's a feeble hope at that point, because it wouldn't have changed anything.
Of course,
you know. But it was pain, like real pain, like a every flutter of shaking, and it felt like a cut. Do you know what I mean? And it was the memory actually came back to me like 6 or 7 months ago when I spoke to Ben, my friend, and he said to me, I said, do you still think about it? Like, he was like, yeah. I can never get the words out of my head. Why is this happening?
Is that what you were repeating?
I said that to him, yeah. When he hugged me when I got out of the car, I said to him, why is this happening? Like, why? Do you know what I mean? Because at this point, but I didn't know this, I didn't remember this. And from the moment he said the words, it all came back. Do you know what I mean? I didn't lose a massive part of my memory of that night, but from hearing about it, to the point of walking in the room and seeing him, there was not much that was held in the hard drive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, that part of it came back, which was strange to be hit with a new slate of information at a point at which your healing is in a good place. Because my healing's been in a good place for probably about a year and a half now, where I'm like, oh yeah, okay, can submerge, okay, submerge.
Emerges.
Emerges,
yeah. That's what I thought you said anyway.
Okay, I can get worse, yeah. I can get worse. No, I can come out of this, like, do you know what I mean? But yeah,
which is massive strength, man.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But like, it's strength. I suppose it's strength, but it is also. I've got children and I love them. I've got a missus, I love her. But people say, how do you deal with like everything that's happened to you? I'm like, it happened to them.
Wow.
It didn't happen to me.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? It didn't. Like, I'm alive. I have the opportunity to be here still. Do you know what I mean? Because like after my dad died, I remember me and my brother went for a drive and I saw this guy crossing the road. I said, like, how delicate does that seem now? Like,
it makes you look at everything differently.
Yeah, like
the fragility.
Yeah, you look at just a man crossing the road like the first time you ever see a rare animal in a zoo. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, you're lucky, man.
Yeah.
Like, not that you look at the rare animal and say you're lucky, but you're looking at like almost from a specimen point of view, like you don't realise like people. The thing is, I mean, human beings, we are historically terrible at realising, at being grateful for our life, grateful for our health, and this, that, and the third, whilst we have it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Gratitude for having the opportunity to eat good food resurfaces very quickly when you start getting chest pains. Do you know what I mean? But when you ain't getting them chest pains,
it's true.
And the sugar is calling you, you're not. Do you know what I mean? Like me, I'm like a sugar addict, bro. Like, and that's one of many, like, I just like one of many things that just went wrong physically after that. Do you know
Of
what I mean?
course, yeah. Like something would obviously take it.
Yeah,
take a toll,
like
innit?
physically,
Take its toll.
Physically, it took its toll in such an intense way. We're talking regular mouth full of mouth ulcers, 6-7 mouth ulcers at a time.
Wow.
Bro, honestly, I don't think enough time is spent on understanding the physical nature of what stress and depression does to a human being.
Give me 2 secs. So we was just talking about going through stress and it taking a toll on your body because you know what goes in must come out. And you were talking about
it finds its way out.
It finds its way out, right?
It
and
does,
you had a lot of mouth ulcers.
Yeah, I'll get like 6 or 7 at a time, and I would have psoriasis.
Yeah,
So like
that happens.
Intense bad psoriasis.
Where would it come up? Like elbows and
yeah, head mainly, elbows, knees, eczema.
Yeah.
Cold feet, freezing cold feet, freezing cold hands. In the summer.
In the summer.
Yeah, in the summer. Stomach aches, migraines. I got a back issue. Sciatic nerve, crushed sciatic nerve, common one. Flare up like every time bad stuff happened. That hurt more.
Right.
Nerve related. Makes sense.
Of course.
Makes absolute sense. I was falling apart, man. Like, bro, I'm like the grey hairs now that I've got now. What I had then, I had some. My missus she's like, you had them when I first met you. Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, but like, she was like, yeah, true, you're more salt and pepper than you are going greyish. Like now, that was like, yeah, but I wasn't grey when you met me. Like this is a back and forth me and her I've had for years. She was like, no, you've always been like that. I'm like, all right, cool, let's get some photos out. Let's settle this argument.
Yeah.
But my hair went grey up. Strange one was a few days after my brother, I got this tingling on my face here. And I was like, right, what's that all about? It feels a bit weird. It's like sort of like you know if you just like to rub your hand on something for a little while like that, and then you feel like a tingle,
right?
Like a friction, response. Not painful at all.
But you know something's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it went. I woke up the next morning and I had what looked like somewhere between a cut and a burn here. Do you know what I mean? Like somebody had just clipped me. Like, or I had a thing and I thought, have I done that? And I felt one of my zips, and my zip was a bit sharp. I thought, I must have like caught my face.
Yeah, if you put it on your coat.
Even though at the time I should have thought that this was like some wide thing like this. So now I'm going to work now, everybody's like, Corey, you've been in a... What's going on with you? Like, you've been in a... Because I went straight back to work. It was on Friday. I went back to work on Monday.
What?
Yeah, it lasted a week.
But did you tell people when you got back?
Yeah, they knew. They knew because somebody I work with was on Facebook. And then they messaged me going, yo, John, I was like, what's happened?
Yeah. Because
people are saying your brother died. And we're saying it's impossible. I'm like, unfortunately, it's the truth. Like, do you know what I mean?
Because obviously they would have known about the year preceding as well, right?
Yeah. I remember when I first got the feeling on my face it was actually about a week after my brother passed.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go back to the house. I just didn't want to go there. But I had to go there because my car was there. Because no one would let me drive that night, so my cousin come pick me up.
Yeah.
So my friend Pascal, who's also another one of my people that were part of the healing, massive part of the healing process, do you know what I mean? Somebody who would come in a room and be the blank canvas if you needed them to be, do you know what I mean? They would support you like wholeheartedly. Same with Ben, same with my missus, and you know. And I was standing outside the house with my friend Bucks, and the windowsill was covered in like Jack Daniels bottles with candles in and jars with candles in. And I just said, he's gone, bro, like, we're here, why are we here again doing this? Why is it candles on the windowsill again? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, how do you feel? And I said, I don't know. I just feel like my whole family's dead. I feel like not long ago my whole family was here.
And it weren't.
I don't feel like they even died apart from each other. I feel like they've all just died.
Yeah.
I feel like once he went, my representation of what I have as a family, because this is who I was born and raised with.
Mm-hmm.
Every person I was born and raised with.
The gap between you and Dan was what, 4 years?
Three
3 years, yeah. So like me and Marlon's.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so because you're 1 year older than 1 year, you're same year, September, past the September period. So
yeah, that's
different
right.
years
Yeah,
and stuff like that. But yeah, and I remember just looking at the house and just seeing the house and thinking, wow, people say love's in the walls, it ain't. It's just gone from here. I was born and raised in that house. It was gone. Like, completely gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, you guys moved out of Ilford, right?
Yeah.
And there's love in your home, right? Like, I think it's crazy to look at a house as sort of a storage unit for emotion, like, in a way.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? This kind of vessel.
Yeah.
You fill up and eventually you've got this condensed love, do you know what I mean? When really and truly, it's just the fact that you walk through the door and just someone goes, all right, love.
Yeah. It's what occurred in that place. It isn't the place.
Yeah. Even if you've got somebody who ain't that talkative who goes, all right.
Yeah.
How was it? Yeah, all right, yeah. Cool. I'm the early one. All right, no.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. That is a blessing.
That we take for granted.
Yeah, massively, yeah. But I don't blame people for doing it. Because even hearing what happened to me, I don't think some people might go, you know what, man, I'm going to go see my mum tomorrow or something like that, do you know what I mean? Which would be fantastic, do you know what I mean? But like, if you don't, I don't think anybody should be held up and say, like, when somebody dies, oh, you wasn't grateful enough for that person's existence. Like, no. Complacency is part of the human psyche, man. That's how we are. Do you know what I mean? Creative, non-creative, on the spectrum, off the spectrum. We get complacent about the people that are around us. Death is the most unspoken about subject.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? It's up there with money. Do you know what I mean? So, complacency, it happens. And the problem is, regret is living in the past, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Literally, yeah.
In the same way that anxiety is living in the future. Do you know what I mean?
Wow, yeah. That's exactly what it is.
It will force you into, because depression, anxiety, stress, regret is all based on time. It's all time-based. Why did this? How comes that? This, that, third. No. It's not that. Breathe in a moment, be like absolutely in the moment to capture the glory of what's around you right now. Because...
And also recognizing what that glory is, because people may determine glory as like, I don't know, material things like, where you are is glory, innit? Like,
yeah. But that's the way it goes, right? We're human beings, so we from when we was in caves up until this point, you had to have a representation of your winning. Because if you didn't have a representation, as a man years ago, and if you was a caveman, you had to show muscle, you had to show strength. Nowadays, you can show strength by saying, "Yeah, I put my head down, and I got a Maserati." And the natural, maybe not all round, because things are changing.
Yeah,
the natural female, who do I make children with response is to look for the strong person. Do you know what I mean? And human beings have torn that apart over the years, laid it bare, and said, you don't have to be like this. It's in our DNA to sort of be like this. You don't have to be like this.
Yeah, it's not
which is
the only way.
amazing.
Yeah,
because it's freed so many people.
definitely has.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely has. So did you
But it's
come to
there.
these conclusions through your healing? Like that
Some of them,
perspective?
yeah. Some of them before.
Yeah.
I was raised by my dad was a extremely intelligent introvert, extrovert. If you knew you,
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
beautiful writer. Like I said before, adored the English language, and was a singer, soul singer, and obviously raised us playing. Like he raised me to learn blues from 5, and then classical and all this kind of bits
Yeah.
and bobs. He played the guitar and this and the third, and he so we learned to be quite inquisitive. Do you know what I mean? He always taught us that it's not what you think, mate. 99% of the time, it's not what you think, and what it actually is where you need to be if you want to be winning. Because working on the shop floor is not getting you what you need in life.
Yeah.
Creating the code to get people through the door, that's where the money's at. Do you know what I mean? Like now, I'm trying to grow. I'm looking at growing the platform or whatever,
Yeah.
which is separate from this, but like looking at it and going, boy, this is a code. Where is it? Because I know I ain't found it yet. I know paying somebody for some promo and just posting and this and that and the first part of it, but
Yeah.
there's something. There's a couple of tricks that I know I'm going to come across at one point and go, there's the gem. There's one of the gems. You know that from music, right?
Yeah.
You get some
But
gems.
You get it by doing it, right?
You get it by doing it. You get it by serious people noticing you to be a serious person and saying, you know what, bro, you know what you need to do, bro? And you go, okay, I'll give that a go. And then, hold on, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Key to the Matrix, lads. Just
Literally.
like that. Yeah, it's mad. But looking deep into things I've always been a thinker, like, it's a strange thing to say, and I've always been a thinker. Like, everyone's always been a thinker.
No, but what do you mean, though?
You know what I mean?
Like to
That's like saying to someone, breathe.
I've always been a
Breathe.
breather. I've always been a breather, me.
I was fully breathing before. I'm breathe. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm gonna 100% on breathing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Will, can you turn it off? I think it's is that the noise coming from that? Oh, it is.
So slightly, yeah. It's all right though. It's not
Right.
overpowering though.
Yeah.
Did it?
Huh?
Is it gonna,
No, it's fine.
Okay, yeah.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, no. What was I saying?
We were saying about keys to the Matrix.
Information.
Oh,
Information.
always
in
being a
general.
breather.
Life is a breather and a thinker.
Yeah.
And a general mover and shaker. No, yeah, it was part of the family to look in deep. My mum wasn't like that. My mum was just country. My mum and dad were both countryside people. So you grew up knowing what was in the forest. You grew up knowing that the bird that just landed on your front garden is this and that and the third, and appreciating the plants and all down to their medicinal properties and all this kind of stuff.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
Because you started a
The soap company.
soap company. Yeah.
Yeah, the soap company, which is currently on hold because I was saying before relocating and this
Yeah.
and the third. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
Amazing homemade soaps and
soaps and
bath
stuff.
bombs
Yeah,
and-
based on my mum, she used to do it. She used to do it. Yeah, so I thought, let me give
incredible
it a go.
stuff, man.
Yeah, it's that's one of those things that like had to be put on hold because it can't be done whilst you're moving, and then you move, and then it's just looking at production now. I've had a dip into it.
Yeah.
I know what's important. I know what's going to move, and now just
Right.
got to get back into that. So, but I'm still unsettled. I've moved. It was not long ago. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm still unsettled. So
Of course, man. No, don't
we get
put
back
any
to that. Yeah,
pressure on it.
Yeah. Plus, I can't put pressure on anything. It's part of the mental health process of staying sane.
Yes.
Of staying not sane because there's two things that I'm definitely not. is, well, I think that I am not the type of person to go what people would see as crazy, which is crazy. I think is usually associated with schizophrenic symptoms,
Right.
talking to yourself, hearing voices, this, that, and the third.
How it's displayed in movies and
Yeah,
TV shows.
yeah. That's not how I'm affected by things. And a suicide, definitely not. I think you either are or you aren't with suicide. Because it's like your amygdala in your brain handles your fight, flight, or fright. Do you know what I mean? It's the closely associated part of your brain that deals with that. Like, it can be assessed to see what type you are without you even saying what type you are. Do you know what I mean? It's pretty crazy what they can do. But you never know. As much as I say it's never a thing, you never know when that might cross your mind. Do you know what I mean? Because for me, when I stood there and thought, what's life all about then, man? Because, like,
Exactly.
in between all of this, other stuff was happening, and like, nothing was going right. Nothing went right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, normal life.
Absolute curse. Like, it felt like a curse, like a genuine curse. But, like, I think I got to this point where when you get to a point of the ultimate low, the low you never thought could exist,
Yeah.
and then someone goes, oh, you didn't realise, you just hit one of the platforms, let me just release that, and then you just dip more. Let me send you down again. And that's what was happening. It was like,
literally.
someone died
Every 3
low.
months.
Someone died low. And I wasn't getting, but there was ladders to climb out of these lows, but I wasn't getting high enough before the next one happened. Do you know what I'm saying? So I would dip and dip and dip and dip, and then, but there was this part of me that just felt like, how do I keep them alive? Do you know what I mean? Mum, dad, and brother, like, and I can only keep. I'm here. I got a couple of uncles. They're here.
Yeah.
It's the only way. Your child is your representation of you, because they're, child is born and left in a dark room for 2 weeks. They go blind, right? And a child is born. You don't teach it language. They cannot talk.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's, an unflexed muscle ain't gonna get big. Do you know what I mean? So, product of your environment as always, and I'm a product of them. So I'm their representation now on this earth, in physical form. However you may want to take that time.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? So I just figured, like, nah, you know what? It's important to get back to a normal life. It's important to get back to a point of where I feel normal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And for them,
putting yourself first in that sense.
Yeah. Because when my brother died, I knew they carried him out of the house. When they carried him out, I said in my head, that's cool. I'm going as well. I ain't leaving. I'm not staying here anymore.
Yeah.
So don't worry, you ain't the only one leaving here, like, do you know what I mean?
Right.
I knew I was leaving. I knew that was going to have to be part of a thing. And I knew I was done with city life immediately. Do you know what I mean? And, like, obviously now I've been moved to the countryside, literally a place in the middle of the depths of the fields and sticks and trees and this, that, and the third. And it's one of the greatest life choices I've ever made. Do you know what I mean? But I had to get out. And I remember in my head, because I spent some time with my brother before they took him. A lot of time, actually. I had to wait for a coroner for, I don't know, 2 hours, something like that. So he was just with me in the house. But people turn up, right? So the house just fills up, like, with people. And
of course.
Just laying there, like, do you know what I mean? And it's kind of weird. Police in the house checking for signs of foul play and all this kind of stuff, because they have to do that.
Of course, yeah.
If somebody's not told, there's no note, there's no suicide note, there's no this, no that. And they get this, they said, okay, the coroner's here. It's going to take him. And I said, I need No, my friend actually said to me, "Do you want some time with him before they take him?" And my initial response was to go, "No, it's cool, I'm alright," because like, if I spend time with him away from the noise and the quiet, I've got enough time to think and realize that this has actually happened.
Yeah.
But I just said, all right, cool. And yeah, I need time. The crazy part of that time when they left was not what it would be portrayed as in a movie or in a book as, I need to say my goodbyes. I need to tell this person, say hello to mom, say hello to dad. It wasn't that. I just hugged him. I remember him being so cold. Like when you take meat out of a fridge cold, freezing. Like, do you know what I mean? And as soon as I felt him, the coldness of him, it dawned on me just how much life wasn't in him anymore. And I remember holding on to him and saying, just, I beg you, just. And bro, he died. They said he probably died about 8 hours earlier.
Oh, man.
I'd been around his body for a few hours at this point, and I'm saying, doesn't matter if, like, you can just open your eyes. Whatever's going on, or if you didn't want to be or whatever, like, if there's a single part of you that's there, just bring it back, like. Do you know what I mean? And I remember, like, at this point, I was begging in my head to God. I was saying, like, don't let this be. He don't deserve this. Like, do you know what I mean? I know that he could come back at this point and they could say, oh, the heart was so slow. We thought,
Yeah. You've heard those stories before.
Yeah. I know this can happen. So if you're there, make it happen, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll never ask anything of any God ever, but I needed that. And obviously it didn't happen. And I think that time there was just kind of like sort of holding on to him on my knees and just cold feeling of him. And that cold actually stuck with me. I would have days where I could feel that cold.
Yeah.
Absolute freezing cold up against my face. Like, when your missus comes home and goes, feel my hands.
Yeah.
The first thing they're doing, feel my hands. It's like that. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't disassociate with it. I actually got rid of that through a type of therapy, and I can't remember what it's called, but it'd be easy to Google.
Yeah.
Which is, I said about the left and right side of the brain, reconnecting the bridge to make it work more between emotion and memory. They put an electrode in each hand. They make you think of good stuff and the bad stuff, and they do it in a certain order, and then they activate these things, and they activate on your left and your right hand, and because it does that, it actually runs left, right.
Oh, I see.
Rebuilding some sort of conversation going on between the neurological side of your brain, like, do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Pretty
And
crazy.
it helps build that bridge.
It stopped the coldness.
That's what stopped that.
Fixed it, yeah.
Holy crap. So how long was you experiencing that coldness for then?
Oh, ever since that, a year, at least a year, daily I would feel it at points. But this is one. It's crazy. One of so many things that would happen in the day that would just not normal.
Yeah, and just keep you in that moment.
Yeah, but what I soon realized is depression is something that has so many angles that you have to attack it from every angle you have. You have to have, because I was attacking it from point of depression. It wasn't working.
I.e., like the mental side of it.
All of it. All of it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Why am I not getting better? Like,
Right.
Because it was PTSD. It was post-trauma.
Yeah.
Which is a different thing that happens in your brain. And I'm like, well, how different can it be? Like, different to the point of where you'd have an anxiety attack on a good day. So nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
Nothing. No trigger. No thought that happens before the anxiety attack.
Yeah.
You're just talking, laughing, this, that, and the third. And why do I feel cold? Whoa, what's that head rush all about? It's a bit weird. Shaking. Can't breathe. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's definitely mechanical then. Because my stomach can do that. My stomach can go, you know what? Have that for a week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your immune system can say no. And my immune system was being attacked by depression and stress. Everything was based on the immune system. You know, like dry skin and blocked noses and mouth ulcers. That mouth ulcer is clear immune system response. Do you know what I mean? This mark on my face, which ended up basically being, oh yeah, that's where we you know,
Yeah.
we got there, we got back there. The mark on my face, which was, he explained it as a shock response. The skin showing. It's crazy.
Yeah. Your body tells you. Innit?
Yeah, it shows you, man. Your skin can burn. It can burn itself. Skin can burn itself. That's pretty much what that is. That came back. That would come back every time I had a bad time.
Yeah.
Definitely every winter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, winter and depression is mad. Winter's tough.
Yeah, and it's tough.
Tough.
It's just tough in general. But
Yeah, bro.
where those experiences occurred in that time, it's obviously gonna be
winter's tough.
very
And
triggering.
This last winter has been awful. Awful, man. There's more grief.
Yeah.
More people dying. Lost 2 friends to suicide.
Yeah.
3 months apart. One of their funerals on the day of my mum's funeral. One of them on the day of my dad's. It's almost like, what? Bro, this is where if I wasn't a sane man, I could go, this is a curse.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like, I lost my friend Kevin, who lived down the road from you, him and his brother Colin. But yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
to depression. And then I lost somebody a few months ago, like 2 months ago, my ex-brother-in-law, who I was like a father to this guy.
Right.
From he was about 8, 9. Spoke to him almost daily. I loved this guy. Like, same thing, man. Depression got him, bro. Do you know what I mean? And since my brother died, I've never had that shake response to anything.
Yeah.
And I had it when I found out about him. And rocked me. And I had the headache the next day.
Yeah.
It's this level of migraine that is like in your body. So intense pain. And he was struggling. But not enough people, I think the more education the better on the scientific side, because if he understood, not him, Kevin before, if he understood that if people can see your brain being broken in the same way of your foot being broken, it removes the confusion.
Completely.
Confusion and depression come hand in hand due to lack of education and lack of normalization of what it actually is. Which is a chemical imbalance. In the same way that stomach acid is, too much of it can mess you up. It's a chemical imbalance, or high blood pressure, low blood pressure, all chemical imbalances. Do you know what I mean? And your neurological pathway is not firing the correct neurotransmitters or the correct serotonin, dopamine, or whatever at the right time, or the reuptake walls releasing too much of it away from the bloodstream. What it leaves people with is, why do I feel like this? And I think people, when they've had enough, it comes when they're doing really well, they've got nothing to be sad about, and then it hits them. Because that's what depression is.
Yeah.
Depression isn't something bad happened, so you feel this way.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not what depression is. Because if you feel that way and then you work your way through that, that's stress. That's a stress response. You can feel depressed because depressed is a feeling. But clinical depression is, I'm okay. Nothing is wrong. And I can't smile. I can't see the day. I can't see the world as being really that great, like, to be honest.
It's the feeling of indifference.
Yeah, and I get there. It's this separation, man. Like, I see people just working, and I think, how are you doing that? Like, you're so strong. That, to me, that looks like you're just working in Sainsbury's, stacking the shelf. This person was in Sainsbury's stacking a shelf. I was like,
how are you doing that?
how are you doing it? So that looks like the end of the world to me now. I saw someone taking their bin out, one of my neighbours taking their bin out. And it looked like the end of the world to me. How can that look like the end of the world? It's such a simple task.
Yeah.
But it was the mundanity, the morosity of life being this sort of repetitive string of events that, as an artistic-minded person, you eventually see through it anyway, even though it's not all in the same order and this, that, and the third. There's order to it, and it just becomes boring.
So it was like it becomes meaningless.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So how did you then?
And you can see where that can go, right?
Yeah, of course.
Meaningless means, what's the point? What's the point? With meaningless, add confusion, add depression. It's a recipe for disaster.
Of course, and that's what happens. That's what happens to so many. And we've spoken about this on the podcast a few times.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the fact is that it's the biggest killer for men under 45.
It's horrific, bro.
Exactly, and like you said, if there was more knowledge around it about, you know, the mechanical side of it, because also males are quite solution oriented. If we know how something works, all right, how do I fix it?
Yeah, and
if,
real
if we understood it
solutions.
like that.
People poo-poo solutions. Like people are saying that out there with, like, you know, separate types of medicinal forms and saying this is working. Nah, no way.
No, exactly.
CBD oil. People are taking CBD oil now and saying it's working. People are microdosing psilocybin.
That's
Have you heard much about that?
Yeah.
So the NHS actually did a study, right?
And they did it in New York as well.
Yeah. It was 7 out of 10 reported no symptoms within 3 months.
Yeah.
That is so profound with mental health.
Yeah.
No symptoms. Bro, I know I'm healing, and I know I'm at my best that I have been since everything happened. But I don't see myself being healed for a long time. But a slow, steady approach to the top.
Yeah.
Eye on the light. It's important, man. It's important if your eyes on that light. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
But these things factor in. Like, my brother died. I'm sorry if this is bouncing around in time,
not at all, man.
By the way, because I seem to I veer off often. My head is
it's all good.
wired different. Yeah. So, like, what happened with my brother was, my brother, like myself and like my mum, back problems. His one was really bad, 2 prolapsed discs and stuff. So started, as a lot of people do, on codeine, which is what I take for my back, and then like, you know, like cocodamol.
Yeah.
Then onto tramadol, which eventually leads to oxycodone, which I've been on all of these points. And then the problem is that the human body adapts to opioids.
Yes.
Quicker than any other drug. Do you know what I mean? And it does, to the point of where, to get the pain relief from one cocodamol now, in a year's time, if you're taking them every day, you need 100 times that amount almost to get that. So they had him on a thing called fentanyl. I don't know if you ever heard of fentanyl.
I've heard of it, yeah.
It's what killed Prince. I think Michael Jackson had it in his system. It's hundreds and hundreds of times stronger than morphine, hundreds of times stronger than heroin. It's delivered in micrograms instead of milligrams because it's that powerful, you know. It's like, see it as being 1 kilobyte of fentanyl
Right.
is worth 20 terabytes of
Wow.
morphine. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah, government made in the lab, you know,
Yeah.
that level of potency doesn't just grow out of the ground.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I think the most you're going to do is maybe get that off the back of some bright frog. I don't know where you're getting it from. But. So they give him a patch which delivers a dose every hour, 72 micrograms. How that patch works is the same way as a nicotine patch. There's a wax matrix. So it's a matrix like a beehive of doses that the wax is specifically designed, very specifically designed to only melt at the body's rate of heat.
Right.
You know, anything
So
higher.
it administers
So
with
not
your
too
body's...
fast, not too slow.
Right, yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Well, there was an issue with that process in the manufacturing. So he put the patch on. Patch just gave him everything.
Fuck.
3 days worth of doses. So 72 doses in one hit.
Fuck.
Which gave me some peace that he hadn't committed suicide. Some peace that he didn't die knowing he was going to die. He would have died in supreme comfort, because it's strange that that's what they gave to my mum, to not feel pain when she died.
Right.
That's what they gave to my dad, to not feel pain when he died.
Right.
To not know it's coming, to go slowly, to go softly. And that killed my brother.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's this weird...
That is very...
Like, it was really good for these situations, and it was the devil. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, anger, just rage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that all transferred into rage.
Yeah. But like, I'm not an angry person. I never have been an angry person. I'm still not an angry person. I do get angry, but I'm not an angry person. Like,
Sure.
You know what I mean? My other half is so amazing at being in tune with me that she will tell me, "You all right? You've been off."
Yeah.
You know? She came into my life just as my mum got ill, and I was speaking to her, text, hadn't met her alone, and she didn't know my mum was ill. My mum died. She didn't know my mum died.
Oh,
I
man.
didn't tell her. And we started dating, and she found out afterwards. And bless her, like we got together. She knows my mum has died long ago, and then all of a sudden, pow, 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 pow. You know, you fall in love with somebody, and then you got to see them just get
Broken.
smashed repeatedly.
Over and over.
But what an amazing human being, bro. She just held me down. Times when I was off work, there was one point I was off work for 3-4 months. I didn't do anything. I stayed in bed. I had sores on my hips from laying in bed for so long. Like, bro, I had no motivation to do anything. I would eat absolute crap.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm still trying to come away from as much sugar as I was eating, trying to lose the weight off now. This is part of the whole process, do you know what I mean? But I can't do
It's bit by
all
bit.
of it. Yeah.
It's bit by bit.
Each thing has to be attacked in its own way. You know, the important stuff, keep me alive stuff has been attacked. Do you know what I mean? And it's in shape, which is great. I wake up in the morning and I definitely do have bad days. This week's been a bad week. Yesterday was a bad day, but I still ended up, you know, in the studio, and things pay off on those days. They always do. Like today, I was not up for it. Work, nothing. Depression was heavy. But I'm here now. I'm doing this with you, and this is like, I'm going to feel good about doing this.
Yeah.
So there is always something you can do, man.
Something you can latch onto.
Yeah.
Like you said, like keeping that eye on the light.
Yeah.
Because it does pull you through. I mean, as cliche as that sound, but
No.
it doesn't say it don't sound cliche with the stuff that you've been through, man.
People need to do a few things, I think. I think you need to arm yourself with as many weapons as you have. I know I got through it with medication, meditation, focus, love, care, and education. two most important parts: meditation, education.
Yeah.
Educate yourself on what is actually happening to you. Get rid of the confusion.
Yeah.
Remove the
Remove
confusion from
confusion.
depression. It needs to be done. Depression needs to be boycotted in that way.
Right.
Like, remove what's happening to me.
Yeah, because you could stop it before it really becomes a tsunami.
Because nobody's asking that with their foot. Nobody's asking that with their stomach.
It's
like,
true.
Do you know what I mean? Unless they've taken their meds and it's not working. Nobody's asking that. But when it's your mind, what's happening to me? Do you know what I mean? Because
it's in free fall.
Yeah, because and that all that does is add anxiety. Now you're in the cycle. Now you're gonna die probably, like, because like don't let it happen. Do you know what I mean? People need to understand that depression will kill you if you don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll be all right. Like, you'll get no. Stop messing around. Educate yourself on what the problem is.
Yeah.
Educate yourself on what depression is.
I think it needs to be viewed as severe as someone. If you saw someone's arm had been severed off,
Yeah, it needs to be taken with the same severity.
you would not look You would not look at that person.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
Yeah. That's it.
You'll be all right. That's
Yeah.
there needs to be that panic, not the panic response, but you need to be.
It needs to be taken seriously.
It needs to be taken seriously.
And like we was talking before, it doesn't need to be taken seriously in a pamphlet form.
No.
In a your employer must let you have time off form, which is amazing that you get that.
Yeah.
But it needs to be taken seriously in a humane way by human beings.
Yep.
Human beings need to think, but getting human beings to completely be empathetic to one another is not an easy thing.
No.
So you can't rely on it, and you have to arm yourself. You have to arm yourself with the knowledge.
Yeah.
I have had days where I'm like, why? What is all of this about? That is a thought that can lead definitely down the wrong way.
Yeah.
That can go from, what is this all about? Do I belong here? I don't belong here. Convince myself I don't belong here for long enough, and I'm not here anymore.
And that does happen to a lot of people.
It happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
It's indifference.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible that it happens because it destroys families. What it leaves behind is a trail of absolute darkness.
Yep. And
What you
it's
lose.
like it can have a ripple effect of the same thing. The pain kind of compounds.
When somebody dies, the details are important. How did they feel just before they died? And when they killed themselves, and it's somebody you love, you have to picture them tying the rope. You have to picture them finding the knife. You have to picture them choosing a place to jump off. You have to picture that. And you will, because whenever somebody dies, you first thing you go, why? Because instantly your human response is to make sense of the situation, right? Why? No, this can't be real. Why? Give me reasons.
Right.
Give me reasons. Do you know what I mean? Because if your other half said to you tomorrow, me and you are done, you're not just going, all right, cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Unless it's not meant to be like, do you know what I mean? Unless you was already out, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, you're supposed to be like, why? You know, it should be, it needs to be like that.
It does need to be
It needs
like
to be like that. Questions need to be asked. People need to educate themselves, and mental health issues. You can even take that term away and just say neurological issues.
That changes it a lot.
It changes it a lot. Because mental health issues are only called mental because you associate it with the word mind, because people separate brain and mind. But depression is a brain problem. It's not a mind problem.
Correct, yeah.
Mind can improve the brain function. Yeah. That is something that is a completely separate discussion that could go on forever. You know what I mean? About mind and brain and the connection between the two. Are they the same? You know. But it's a brain problem. Your brain is producing serotonin, dopamine is flowing through your body either too fast, too little, and it's seeping away and you're getting too much or too little of something.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's doing that is because you've been through some stuff. And because you fluctuated that way, your brain thinks, oh, that's the way I got to crack on with this. To adapt, I need to fluctuate that you was fluctuating last week.
Right.
You know, and my brain fluctuates in a way of when the phone rings more than twice and it's my son, somebody must have died.
Of course.
That's now. My son rang me twice today. I came home early from work, so I knew I was coming here tonight to sleep. My son rang me twice in a row. And I rang him, it rang 2 or 3 times. By the time he picked up, 3 or 4 more rings, I'd have been in full-blown panic mode.
Yeah.
I'd have had a stomachache for the rest of the week. Do you know what I mean? Because I had a time in my life whenever the phone rang in the middle of the night, somebody massive in my life was going to be removed.
Yeah.
And this crazy cycle of people dying, and then all these questions, all these whys, and I don't know, man. Like, it's tough, but I was already educated. This is why I say it: educate yourself now. People need to be educated now, because of my dad cutting himself like that.
Yeah.
Which he did on 2 occasions. You know,
that's what caused you to look into everything and really understand what's going on.
Yeah, in between the time, because he was spent some time in a mental health care home in Goodmays after that first thing, and then the second time, then he came out. He was fine, and he did it again. Basically,
Yeah,
it was missing. But But I studied it from that point onwards. What was he taking? Why was he taking it? And I found out he was taking a medicine called venlafaxine, which a lot of people are actually taking. It's a very strong antidepressant.
Yeah.
Now, medication, right? People say, all these chemicals, this, that, and the third. Look, everything comes from the plant originally. Whether it ends up, doesn't just happen in a factory.
Yeah.
It needs to come from somewhere. So most things are natural in their source, and not everything is. People say, "Oh no, I don't take no pills. Oh, they mess up your head. You this, that, and the third." Look, there was a time in my life where I took those pills and they worked for me.
This is what Lady Gaga was saying recently on an interview with Oprah,
right?
Because she has what is it called? I can't remember, but it's a condition that her body's always in pain.
Fibromyalgia.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And she's investing a lot of money into the research and getting the best people together to do exactly what you're saying. So to educate people, and to help people realize that medication does work. But it's not just the medication.
Of course.
So, because a lot of people have this idea that, it's this or that.
No.
It's not that.
No.
It's
everything you can possibly get.
Right. Everything that helps.
Yeah. Learn to meditate. Take medication if possible. If medication don't work for you, fine.
Yeah.
And the medication, it's hard to get off. But it depends how long you're on it. I was on it for 7 years. And I'm, I think, in 22... No, probably about 20 weeks off now. After probably 10 attempts at coming off.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that's good.
Done with some natural stuff, some CBD here and there. But essentially just chose to do it at a better time in life. At a time when I could mentally handle it more.
That's the thing, man. Sometimes it's time as well, isn't it? That's the other.
But it's withdrawal as well. You know what I mean? Like,
of course, yeah.
Discomfort is. I vastly avoided discomfort throughout this whole thing, and any excess, little side extra struggle or pain, I would avoid it.
I don't blame you.
I was getting so scared to go to sleep. I took codeine, which is nothing in comparison to what I'd taken my brother's life.
Yeah.
For my back, and I would need it, and I would take it because I can't handle pain. I don't want extra pain on top of. I'm trying to stay here. I'm trying to stay like mentally stable here. Like I don't need that and take my medication no matter what. I'll take the medication, but then I got to sleep, and I'm scared to fall asleep with this stuff in my system,
right?
In case I die in my sleep. So I'm going to sleep, spraying my nose with a nose spray to keep my nose clear, taking an asthma pump, both of which I don't need, but I'm taking them. And then the after effects of doing that every day, you end up with chest problems because you're taking an asthma pump.
Yep.
Now your body needs the asthma pump.
Sore mouth.
Now you can't taste anything.
Yeah.
Because of you using a nose spray every day. You can't taste anything. You've got ulcers. Your feet are freezing cold. Your back's hurting. Like every part of you feels like it's falling apart. Visually, you just look a mess. Like It don't help if I got curly hair anyway, because if you got curly hair and a beard, it takes like 2 days away from having a trim for you to look like an absolute, what they would call a lunatic back in the day. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
mad science guy, like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, and I probably looked like that. I was probably waking up with my hair halfway this way, like, just, I was a wreck, bro. A wreck, absolute wreck. Like, my body was responding.
That's what
heavily.
it is. Yeah, your body responded.
But I was hiding. From everything. I was hiding. I just wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
That's all I ever wanted to do was
Yeah,
sleep.
and also, I mean, for people listening, I think that is a good way of telling where on the scale you are of if you are experiencing some depression, because if you feel the urge to just sleep, like to hide away and just sleep, that's a sign.
Bro, I'll get the urge to just sleep 20 minutes after I just got up.
Yeah.
After a lay-in.
Yeah.
I'll get up and eat, put the TV on and see what's going on in the world, see people getting up and going around and think, oh my God, no, allow this.
Yeah.
I'm getting away from it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where the morning anxiety is where the 5 a.m. thing started from, which started as I want to get up and leave and get to work and be able to listen to my podcast, not be in traffic, not deal with no one, and have this blissful moment of a couple of hours of no interaction and pure
you time.
Yeah, just quiet if I need it. And then I would sleep in the car. I would go into work and just put my head back, sleep in the car for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just power nap it in the car, get out of the car and go into work. I was never late, work's a treat. Do you know what I mean?
That's amazing. I think that's amazing that you've done that. Because
I still do it now. And I still, on the weekend, I still get up at 5, right?
Yeah.
Not all the time, but I still get up at 5, take my medication, make my coffee as I would.
Yeah.
Just sit back on the sofa and fall asleep.
Do you know what I mean? But that's your routine.
I yearn for that weekend where I can do that.
Yeah.
That's still my favourite time on the weekend.
Yeah.
But now what's great is I can turn it into productivity now.
Exactly.
Because if I've gone to bed early enough, I don't need to go back to sleep and hide. I still want to, badly.
Yeah.
But I don't need to as much as maybe just my responses have improved.
Yeah, day by day. Well, it's become a new routine, and obviously, like, you know how synapses and all those kind of things work.
Course.
It builds up, and it's like, oh, okay, well, this is working now.
Yeah, and I think
let's do more of that.
Yeah, my plan is saying no. You're supposed to be, because it's gradual improvement, and no matter how bad it got, I looked at gradual improvement.
Yep.
And like before, when you said about celebrating the smaller wins, you know, that's a big deal, bro. Like, it's massive. Like, people see celebrating a smaller win as you're focusing on the smaller picture. It's not that. You're just saying, okay, we're moving. We're moving.
Acknowledge the movement.
Yeah. You know, the tortoise and the hare race thing. It's not all about speed, man. Do you know what I mean? You enjoy a meal, much more if you eat it slowly.
It's true, man.
You taste it much more if you eat it slowly.
It's true.
You enjoy your partner's presence much more if you turn the TV off, get rid of the social media for a few hours and just listen to each other.
Yeah.
Slow it down and talk. Do you know what I mean?
It's all about being present.
Yeah, you enjoy driving somewhere if you slow down. There's a bridge near my new place, and it's a clean road at the A10, and all of a sudden it opens up to this bridge that goes through sort of like a valley kind of area, forest either side. Everybody slows down when they get to that because they're like, oh my God.
The view.
But they need that.
Right.
But I mean, anybody who's ever learnt meditation will know that actually it's always there in so many ways.
So true.
Yeah, but people don't realise it. The best way I say to people is I go like there's so much that you're feeling that you don't choose to tune into. Like, how's the bottom of your foot feel? Yeah. And until I said it, you didn't know how the bottom of your foot felt.
It makes you present.
Yeah. But you was feeling the bottom of your foot before, but you wasn't thinking about it, so it wasn't there.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That's powerful.
Very.
You can turn something completely off. Do you know what I mean? So if you can do that, you can do it the other way around.
Completely.
Everything's reversible. Do you know what I mean? Apart from aging, bro. You know
well, at the moment.
Yeah. At the moment, Who knows?
Well,
man?
technically not, because you'd still age, but maybe what we determine is aging.
Yeah, I think we're improving, fixing the parts, right? putting new parts in.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
But you still be vintage.
Yeah,
in 100 years, we're like,
still stuck with
made in 1984.
Yeah, still stuck with what to do with the soul. That's where I was at on the way home yesterday from the studio.
Yeah.
Was what to do with the aging. He was a broker thing on aging, and I was thinking, what does that mean to me, bro? Because my mum looked after herself and she was gone.
Right.
My dad, fair dues, he did.
But then you felt, it's just like two
But he didn't need
opposite
to go then.
examples.
My brother, he's gone. Like, do you know what I mean? So, but at the same time, I'm like, whatever we can do to help people, right? Human improvement is important, man. That's what this is about, though, isn't it?
This is what this is about. And it's about being present and doing what we can, trying to give value now.
Yeah.
While we're here present,
Yeah, it's true, man.
Because what more can we do?
Yep.
What more can we do?
You just gotta, I don't know. I was looking at like acting, voice acting, and a load of other things recently. Yeah. And I thought, I'm going to try everything that anybody ever told me I could probably do.
Yeah. Which you can 100% do, by the way.
But if I did, but if I did it and went for a thing, I wouldn't care. And I feel like that's the best place to be.
That is the best place to be.
Because I would care. Like with music, I was raised to be so in tune with music. Yeah. That I do really care, like, about what people think of my music. Like,
yes.
I care a lot.
Yes.
About what people think of my music. Somebody who has nothing going on in their ears tells me this is garbage. I can't turn that off. I'm like, oh my days! I need to
send
make
you sideways.
20 bangers to make up for this one comment.
Yep.
I need to make 1 million from something to make up for this one comment. Do you know what I mean? But anything else, acting, this, that, and the third, no, man, I'm not nervous, so I'll try it. And
it's so funny and I hope you do it, because I mean, what I've seen in life is when
what have you seen? From me?
I just know you, innit?
Yeah, I send some pretty crazy stuff to your brother in the group. And
no, what I mean is I've seen patterns in life where when you have stepped away from something and you don't, you're not investing in it and you just do it purely. Yeah. That's what resonates.
It's a pattern, right? It's a pattern.
Completely, man.
And this is the thing. That I feel like I've started that pattern now. Like, you hear people say, like big actors. Like, yeah, it wasn't really my thing, to be honest. Like, I wanted to be a flute player. Like, yeah. You'd be like, hold on, you're one of the biggest actors in the world or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, I was learning the flute and someone said, can you stand in? And here we are.
Do you know what always bugged me out?
What?
Yeah, exactly. Do you know?
So they didn't care. Oh, I just thought I'd just do it. All right, fine, I'll do it, whatever. Yeah. Oh, it turns out I'm good at it. How can you be nervous from that point onwards? Do you know what I mean? Because I would never walk through the door of a thing. I said to a friend of mine, I said, who's an actor, I said, can you get me audition? He was like, what? Are you going to have classes? I was like, no, just audition. Yeah. No, bro, you need classes. No, talk about I need classes, bro. Yeah. Tell me I need classes. Jay-Z didn't do rap classes, did he? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You go to the school. Do you know what I mean?
No, exactly that.
I mean, the classes, I'll go to the thing. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter because I don't really care, bro. Right, yeah. But if it puts my kids in a better school, all right. If it takes me out of the tedium of doing railway engineering, which I enjoy succeeding in, but I weren't born, I am not tattooing the Victoria line on my chest at any point. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not happening. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I'm not that enthusiastic about railway geometry, but I get it done because I like to succeed at the same time. Do you know what I'm saying? And I like to, and even the creative mind who can't really deal with the tedium, we have the advantage of seeing holes in the matrix of where the tedium is. Yeah. Because people get in that routine, right? And we can see there's a lot of gap between that circle, and we handle that gap. And if you handle it well enough, you can make a massive change.
You can, man. And when you lean into your gifts, because I think we like you have gifts.
Hell yeah, definitely.
You have wants. Yeah, and you have dreams, and sometimes those things are different.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're different.
Yeah.
So it always bugged me out when I would see award shows and people would be accepting awards, and I didn't know if it was just like a line that everyone said, but I never expected to be here. Like, thank you so much. And I'm like, I expect myself to be there. Like, I'm never saying that. I fully expect myself to be there.
I fully worked my way to this point.
Yeah, I fully expect it.
Yeah.
But then, like, for example, with what's going on with the podcast,
Yeah.
and the spaces that I'm finding myself in, not because of music, but because of the gifts that I'm leaning into.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah, you get it.
Because I fully did not expect.
Yeah.
Because
it's nuts. It's nuts.
Like, we're quite similar personalities. So growing up as a teen, I was like introverted. You know, I wouldn't have conversations out.
Yeah,
in
you
public
were
or
super
speaking
quiet.
to a camera, like vlogging. Like, are you mad?
Yeah.
So back then, I would have never expected that. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's true. Yeah, you was mad quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think I knew much. I knew you for years and hardly knew anything about you.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. That's nuts.
I was quiet, but also secretive.
Yeah.
And mysterious.
Yeah. All right.
I was just on my own thing.
Yeah.
But,
it's mad though. I think, like with the music is a classic example of that. Of the reason why a lot of people there are very surprised is because to make it big enough to be rewarded and be at the top, you ain't really got much time to look up from your desk.
No.
You have to just keep looking down as it grows. My friend Joe from the Fanatics, I said to him, like, you lot are taking it, you lot are taking it, you know. I said, you lot are taking it. And he's one person who came to me, and we went to college together years ago when all this happened, and said to me, my brother, look, I can't say much to take away this, but I know you, and I know you got music, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know music is something I can bring to you, do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't have gone to the studio otherwise. Yeah. And he actually, I would say, is massively 99.9% responsible for the fact that I'm still making music to this day.
Amazing.
And that's like, that's a gift. And nothing but love for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, how can you, you know, I've got a few people, Ben, who's like my brother, who held me down, who told me when I was in the car on the way up there, listen, when I was going to my brother, listen, fix up. Yeah, you need to get here. Only focus on getting here. You understand? In a moment when it should be, when everybody else would be scared to tell a man, fix up.
Right.
He's that guy.
Right.
That's my brother, he held me down. My boy Pascal, my partner. And there's other people, of course. So many people, bro. Everybody opens their arms when they hear that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? I got families messaging me saying, you know, this is your home.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And with some of them, I believe it. Do you know what I mean? I fully believe it. Like, it's a beautiful thing, man. People support me. Yeah. You know I mean, people have held me, carried me if I ever needed them to. Yeah. But I'm so flipping proud. Most of the time, I'm like, do you know how much I appreciate you even just saying that? If I don't take you up on it, because people want to help, they do. That's the thing. They want to help. That's the thing. I'm not very good at accepting help. And in typical male fashion, I'm just not very good at accepting anything. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, what you like men when we get a gift, like we just, oh, okay. Girls are so good at accepting, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's about being open. Yeah, like, but my thing was always the same. When people would say to me, like, I just don't know what to say to you. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. People say, I don't. What can I tell me? And I say the same thing every time. I'm like, you don't realize the power of saying to somebody, when you want me, I'm there. Just so you know, I'm here. I'm here. That's powerful. Do you want to just vent? I'm here. Do you know what I mean? When my brother died, friends in Oxford, Rich, he said, you going to come down? I was like, yeah, he knew I was going to come down. Countryside. Yep. He's going to listen, come down. You want to talk? Talk. Or don't talk. Just come down. Yeah. And there's power in that. in somebody saying, my door's open, if you need me, I'm there. Then after that, it doesn't matter if you can't come up with a reason to cure my pain.
Yeah.
Or a way, sorry, to cure my pain, or a method. You're there. You know what I mean?
I think that's so powerful for people to hear, because so many people, most people, don't know what to say. And I think by them hearing that just by even saying, look, my door's open, I'm here to be a blank canvas, I'm here to be a sounding board, sometimes you just don't know how powerful that is. You know, and also what's amazing hearing within the context of all of that despair is that, you know, you're in this low moment, but people are generally kind.
Yeah,
which is amazing.
They are.
People there, it doesn't get shouted about enough.
Yeah.
But
I experienced two things: kindness and some people literally just avoided me.
Yeah.
Because they're like, does not compute.
Right.
And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Fine. Get it. I totally get it. Totally get it. Because I don't know what I'd say to me.
No. And they'd
Do you know
rather
what I mean?
not the awkwardness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what? How's somebody in work? All right, John. All right. Sorry to hear about, you know.
Yeah.
And then just walk past, and then
Right,
I'd be
right.
like, thanks, man. Like, do you know what I
Cheers.
mean? And in my head, I'm like, I needed that. I needed to not talk about it, really.
Right.
I needed to not bring it up, really.
Yeah, for real.
So they've probably helped me just as much as some people who
Amazing perspective.
There's a
man.
balance. But what you're saying is perspective is important, man. Perspective is important. Do you know what I mean? If you've improved today, so many people fall with everything to do with improvement based on these massive goals. You ain't gonna get it tomorrow. Chip away at it, man.
That's the thing, man.
Chip
Step
away
by
at
step.
it. If you can see
gradual.
the chip on the ground, and you can see the improvement, if it's one step forward, as long as it's not a step back and it's one step forward, you've achieved something important for that day. And it also will set in better. Do you know what I mean? It will stay no longer. Do you know what I mean?
And
you do something, you cook something slowly. Yeah? Cook a sauce slowly. It's always going to be better.
Such a good lesson, man.
Always going to be better.
Such
do it
a good
slowly.
lesson.
Plus,
there's
it's
a power in
achievable.
doing it slowly. Yeah.
Yeah. If you struggle to get out of bed in the morning and you struggle to handle the whole day, pick a part of it, like for me, for instance, didn't want to get up out of bed, didn't want to go to work, no energy to even think, so I would eat crap, I would buy this, down the road. Okay. Tomorrow, I'm going to go back on the sugar for the day. And then the day after, whatever.
Yeah.
Just do it. And then if you can, do it. Yeah? You can go to bed that night saying, right, okay, I can take control.
Yeah.
Might have only been a small thing, but doing it all at once is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Doing it all at once is so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's unachievable.
Bro,
I had this conversation recently about all these things, like, because you know when you realise something, you're in a state and you're like, I've realised I'm in that state. All right, I need to change my behaviours. I need to change my habits.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I need to do da 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 da. I need to do da 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 da. But it's like, all right, let's break that down into achievable things. What's the thing you could do right now?
Yeah.
That you can complete.
Yeah, straight.
And that might just be, all right, the thing that I can do right now, the smallest thing I could do right now is taking my washing out and folding it up and putting it in the thing.
That's great for relaxation as well, don't you think?
Yeah, amazing.
Like, because you can relax better knowing that you've done it.
This is it. And
it's like writing a list.
Yeah.
Before bed, saying, okay, what do I do? Well, what if I don't do this? All right, let me just write it down. Okay, tomorrow at 12 I'll do that. At 12 I'll do that. Okay, it's planned.
It's you've completed something. So there's a mental thing like, oh, I just completed that. And then you
List
do the next
writing
achievable
is powerful. List writing is powerful.
Yeah.
If you're suffering with depression, Write a list of what you want.
Mm.
Even if it just says, I just don't want to be depressed.
Yeah.
Just write a list of things that you could possibly do. Little tiny things. And even if you're not planning them in for a certain date and time, you've written the list.
Yeah.
So you can go to bed saying, okay, I've actively approached my demon.
Yes.
And said, so that you know, I'm going to work you out at some point.
And it's important to get things out, whether you're
Yeah.
talking it out or writing it out or
Yeah.
typing it out or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I had Kenny Marmarella de Cruz on, who's a men's coach, recently, and he said something which really stuck with me, which is that the shit that's going on in your head is worth gold when it comes out of your mouth.
Hell yeah.
And it's so important to just get it out, because once it's out, you can manipulate and control it, and also let go of it. So whether that's by writing it or speaking it or whatever.
No, it's powerful.
It's super powerful, man.
Look at music. Like, your mind goes into the computer and comes out with this multi-layered, multifaceted thing.
Mad.
That can make people cry.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Music's one of the only things that can bring tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I went to a funeral recently. I was saying my ex-brother-in-law, and they played his music, bringing him in, and I was done.
Yeah.
And I cried so hard after a couple of years of not being able to do it. Cried hard.
Yeah.
Head, body,
finished.
Yeah. Crying. Mad level crying.
Probably needed
It hurt
it.
because this was my son's uncle.
Right.
My twin boys are carrying their uncle in. And it's like,
seeing that.
My son's like, I say to my kids, boys, I keep reminding them, bro, boys, this is not normal. This succession of events is not normal. Just so you know, this is not life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good that you said that.
So, just got to keep them, make sure that they're all right. That's the number one. That's the driver, really.
Yeah.
But that's the driver is, I need to be all right. I need to be all right for them. Because you do have to look after number one. Because who are you providing for if number one ain't in shape? Do you know what I mean?
You can't pour from an empty cup.
No. Mental first.
Yeah.
Physical second.
Yeah.
But if you can add some physical in there, you add some yoga or just a 10-minute jumping up and down, dance around your front room or whatever, makes such a difference. I just need to do that more often.
It makes a huge difference. I tweeted recently something that I thought about in the shower, which was put your body in places that your mind doesn't want to go.
Yeah, straight.
Because your mind will catch up.
It will catch up, yeah.
So whether that's going for a walk, going to the gym, or or even doing a press up or a chin up or something, or even just physically, like doing the opposite action. If you don't want to go out sometimes, because your mind will catch it. It changes your state, you know. But
try things, man.
Yeah, try things out, and you are testament to that, man. Like you said, it's about having that different weapons in your arsenal for
and
all
using all of them.
And using all of them.
All
and
of them.
It's recreating that loop.
Yeah.
And
meditation is like, honestly, it's one of those things that I do and then I don't do for a long time. And then I remind myself, why am I not doing this?
Right.
Because the moment I start doing it, my life gets better. Why am I not doing it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's not taking anything away from me to do it. I enjoy doing it. It's amazing to do it.
Yeah.
I reached a level that I didn't know was humanly possible doing it. Meditation's being normalised now, I think, and it needs to be normalised more.
Yeah.
But you know, some people would say that, you know, they're not going to go too heavy on fixing us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because once we're in the know, we can take the wheel in it. But I don't get caught up in any conspiracy YouTube documentaries.
A lot of people conspiracy algorithms.
I don't know if you saw. I put it on Instagram. I said, don't watching a documentary doesn't mean you've done your research.
Ooh,
I mean, it doesn't.
It's true, man.
It doesn't. Hearing one person talk about it and some flashing images in front of you doesn't mean you've done your research. You've basically done the child's version of, I don't like this book because there's no pictures. He's done exactly the same thing.
I love that.
It's the truth. Right?
So true. That is so true.
Like, you know, and that's the thing with everything, not the obvious subjects that people are getting gassed about, you know, like with veganism and Satanism and all these crazy things.
Yeah.
But you don't know it all from Panorama 1 hour on a Monday. It's not going to do it. It's not going to.
No, you got to do your own research.
Do the rest.
That's the thing with where we are at right now, which kind of brings it back to where we started in terms of the where we are in life.
Yeah.
You can get the answers to everything. Like everything's out there. You know, you just have to do the work.
It's not
do
even
the research.
out there. It's in your pocket.
It's in your pocket. Yeah, literally.
I was broke all the time throughout. 3 funerals to pay. 20 odd, 30 odd grand.
Yeah.
You're paying on funerals. And anybody who died, if you take in on their estate, you're taking on their debt.
Yeah.
So I go from earning a decent wage and having a decent disposable income to scraping. But I didn't let it slip. I done market research jobs for some for £10 an hour, some of them £120 an hour.
Yeah.
But they popped up, they came, they went this, that, and the third, and I realised the power of the device you've got in your pocket.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, people are out there saying it day in, day out, but like, you know, they got me through months.
Yeah, same. I've done the same thing.
And the money you can earn much more money in a much smaller amount of time as well.
Exactly.
All this £12, £13 an hour, £10 an hour stuff, you could be mixing and mastering somebody's CD or single in I don't know, however long it takes you. Yeah. But it won't take you as long to earn that money if you came to work. You'd have to do a day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Obviously, the risk is it not being as consistent.
Yeah. But the great thing about it is because it's in your pocket, you can hustle on your lunch break. You can hustle on your break. You can hustle when you get home. And you can hustle through the night. You can choose how much sleep you want to get. And you can rinse and repeat. But your mind has to be right to even begin that process.
Absolutely.
That's where that's where I feel like I'm at.
It's exactly what I was going to say. And I think through everything, and it's been so, you know, what you've been through is really heavy, man.
It's heavy, but
like beyond what I could even imagine, you know what I mean? But you have taken control with what you can, do you know what I mean? And it's been getting stronger. That's such a weird word to say with that, but
no, but I get what you're saying. But you say it's heavy, right? I'd say the worst thing that's like basically something could happen to somebody tomorrow that might not be seen in context as being as bad,
right?
But it might be the worst thing that's ever happened to them. So that's a new level of panic. When you realize a new level of panic, it's tough. Yeah. Panic so that might feel the way I feel now. Right. That might feel the way I felt then.
Got it.
Do you know what I mean?
And this is what's important because there's going to be someone out there that's either experienced exactly the same things that you have or that in terms of scenario or have experienced the same experiences like physically and mentally that you have. And I think you're a great example of someone who's not saying, look, I've completely healed from this and do A, B, and C and buy my ebook. It's more of a take control where you can. Know what the journey is.
I've healed some things.
Yeah, exactly.
But they all need maintenance.
Bringing it back to the mechanics.
And it's still going.
Absolutely.
It's still going. But I know I ain't dying from it. And I know that it's only going to improve.
Absolutely, man. That's so powerful. So powerful.
Hopefully, I don't know, man. This is why I wanted to do this with you because the more people hear it, the better. The more people see that you can go through this amount of stuff and be all right. Not okay. It's tough, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But get to some point of healing. It needed to be to more people, and I think that this was the best setting, man. I appreciate you having me for this.
Man, I appreciate you coming and being open and trusting me to have this conversation with, man. Like, seriously, it's super powerful. It's only positive, you know, and from here on out, it's only gonna get better.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah,
that's the message, isn't it?
That's the message, man. Yeah, for real.
I hope, man.
If you wanted people to reach out,
yeah,
do you want people to reach out?
If they want to, of course. If you want to reach out, you can. Yeah. Instagram is a weird one. 0000 data. 4 zeros.
4 zeros.
Data.
Data.
And 4 zeros.
4 zeros again. Yeah.
because one of my friends said I'm like Data from the Goonies. Do you remember Data and the Goonies?
Come on, of course.
My guy.
Of course.
and he's basically full of information and just it never stops. So
it's true, man. That's you.
It's the page where I do my music and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But it's not. It's if you want to reach out.
Definitely.
More than welcome, man. Do you know what I mean?
Wicked.
Let's see where that goes.
Well, look, this ain't.
Bro, can I come back on the podcast? I just want to. Yeah, don't reach out. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Allow me. No. 100%.
Yeah, man. Because I think
100%. My doors, my ears are always open. Yeah, because like
the things we go through is a human. It's like a modern human condition.
Oh yeah.
And there's so many of us out there, and we do go through similar things. So this will heal people.
Yeah,
It will help people get on the same path.
Be healed together, man. Healing together is a quicker healing process.
Absolutely.
I'd probably add another 3-4 years onto how I feel now. Would have took me another 5 or 6 years without the people I've got around me.
Yeah.
100%. So
Yeah.
talk. Always talk.
Always talk.
Yeah.
That's the
Talk,
takeaway.
you'll stay alive.
For real.
You'll stay
That's
alive.
real.
Because somebody will go, no, that's because of this. And you go, oh, okay. Oh, that's mad.
Jeez.
That's mad. I was thinking of madness before you said that. Do you know what I mean? But like, I feel all right now.
Incredible.
Do you remember your mum saying, no, don't be silly. That doesn't happen. And you go, oh, okay, cool. And you fully believed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it is. You just need to talk, man.
It's true.
Talk.
You can go down dangerous paths. It's so weird that you said that.
Bro.
The thing that it reminded me of, and Mum, if you're listening, we used to get these letters through the door. You've won £60,000.
Yeah,
blah blah
God.
blah. This is for you. Blah blah blah. And I
Yeah.
used to read these and believe them. Like I'm like probably like 7 years old or something like that. Mum said, "Don't be so stupid. Don't get something for nothing."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You're right," and that stuck with me.
You know what the
But
modern,
if I didn't, and look, imagine if it was like now and there's internet and stuff.
do you want to know what the modern version of that is?
Go on.
Dad says if I put my email address in on this thing and you give me just 4 digits from the end of your card, I get a free iPhone.
Exactly.
That's what it is online now.
Yeah.
And teenagers are falling for it, hook, line and sinker.
Mad.
Coming to you like, guess what? Man's getting an 11 Pro.
Yeah, and all I have to do.
All I have to do is basically nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Put your email in, man. What's next? Oh. Yeah. Come on. There is no shortcut. There is no
There is no short. That is the takeaway, bro.
Bro, there is no
That
shortcut.
is the takeaway. You got to do the work
Yeah, and that is in everything.
in everything. Yeah.
There's no shortcut to depression.
No.
But if anybody's out there and they think, I can't handle another day of this, you can.
Yeah.
Because you can handle, if you're at this point of the day and you're still there, tomorrow
done it.
you can chip away enough to handle it.
Yeah.
Like
You've
you
already
can
done it.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You will fluctuate. If you're this low, you're going to come back up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And at some point you'll catch yourself in the middle and find your way again. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. You just got to give yourself a chance.
Yeah, that's it.
Love that, man.
Everyone's worth something, man.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, bro.
Cool.
Look, I know we're going to do this again.
100%. Anytime, man.
Love this,
Anytime.
man. Thank you so much. And thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, bro.
It's beautiful, man. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Kind of mad still. Pulling it all out in one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah. It's mad, but it's good.
It's a lot of information. Yeah.
Cool. Love.
Love.